Amazing. Rocky, I want to see you.
I really don't think they flew 90 billion light years to start a fight.
Sunset chill days so long gone, can't bring them back, no magic wand. Counting white cotton clouds, painted on the blue sky's crowd. And yet somehow that way it's baked with eternal hopeful flair. Pineapple pizza, Hawaii that's freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up 3 days of you and me. I'm
sailing!
I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
He's been cited by Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, Benny Johnson, Timcast, Dr. Jordan Peterson, and even the U.S. government.
But soon they'll wake up to see the summer sizzles in me.
We're doomed. Will this never end?
Direwolf's back and so are you.
Oh yeah,
Belvedere flying so the moon.
oh yeah.
And everyone singing just the right tune. Maestro blasting on the jazz flute.
We are all participating in mandatory fun activities.
Jelly bean bonus, every flavor in the bag. Super movie star, but first gotta join SAG.
Keep our eyes open.
Wunderkind, super friend, where are you? Get a search warrant for the near clear blue.
It's scooping time.
And can't you believe that? We've been waiting on you, can't you see that? Put away the bad things they said to you.
You are a sad, strange little man. Have my
After all, just have to call and say you're some kind of
Because you are the special.
epic. Epic, yeah, that's what you do. I'm talking about epic, it's all you know how to do.
You wake up blue to
Epic, it's on repeat for you. Oh, epic. Epic.
Hear ye, come on, to the never stopping daily strife, and it's called simpler times, they beckon so, floating on the water with no phone. Can we get away now, find a way now, somehow step out of this stream into a dream of slow it down. Jay says that he remembers a place before the never, ever river severed our tranquility. Counting cars by Highway 30, sitting in the porch swing, guessing colors so poorly. Yeah. Is the next one a blue or red one? Maybe silver, maybe gray. What a way to spend a day.
Ladies
and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show!
But for me, it was Tuesday.
And for us... Jonas, what are you doing up there?
What am I teeny tiny?
Can we pull you down? Hang on a second.
Yes, master. Yes. Let's do this. Let's fix this.
I don't know how to move you.
I don't know either.
Here,
hey,
that better?
look at that.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Yeah. We'll do this again.
Did you know that Bela Lugosi was actually like the modern image of Igor? After he played Dracula, he pretty much gave us our modern image of Igor.
Well, there you go. There's a random factoid I wasn't expecting to start off the pro show on a summer day. But hey, Igor, are you calling me a hunchback because I'm trying to look like you know?
I was just thinking about me being tiny and in the corner while we've got this master of ceremonies over here.
Hey,
I still can't get over you being on camera.
Isn't it fun? Isn't it fun? Hey,
Yeah.
Jonas, people are talking now. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah. About you.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't want to do this live, Jonas, but now that Wiz has his own intro,
Okay.
people are, I don't know, saying you got intro envy.
I still have not seen the wizard intro. You asked me if I had seen it, and I had heard about what it might be, but I still have not witnessed this for myself.
Yeah, it's probably best you don't see it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's really
That's
good.
fine. Okay.
It's really good.
Something else I want to point out. While we were together, somebody thought that we scripted these intros out.
No. We have no idea what we're doing. We have teleprompter, where are you? Teleprompter, where are you? That's why sometimes they aren't very funny. That's how it works.
How
Jonas,
dare you,
just
sir.
so people,
I had a
just
good
so
chortle just right here before we started.
I've got a guffaw. Jonas, just so people remember what it was like when you were the king of the intros.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Jonas is back. Had to bring him back. Back in the groove. Jonas is back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Oh, let him shine. Jonas is back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Had to bring him back. Jonas is back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Oh, let him shine. Little baby born on the brownstone steps. Harlem hit him with the right kind of death. No matter in the world where he goes away, can't take the soul out of his way. Jonas is back, had to bring him back, had to bring him back. Back in the groove, Jonas is back, he's back, he's back, he's back. Oh, let him shine. Jonas is back, yeah, yeah, yeah. Had to bring him back. Jonas is back, he's back, he's back, he's back. Oh, let him shine. Pipes made for radio, pro show will do. Breaking down the Hollywoods, break it down anew. Not a single day does our very own forget. Hudson River flow is where his path was set.
All right, folks, you get half a second of culture there, and then we just roundhouse kick with Chuck. Hey, look at our friends who have joined us. Jonas, let's drop down and put them where they belong. They can go on top. We go down here, buddy.
Excellent.
Carol, how you doing?
I feel so elevated. Thank you for having me.
You are elevated, Carol. You lift us up.
Oh, thank you.
You lift us, you know? Marvin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm tired.
All right.
Just I had long drive yesterday. We had a crazy week. At our annual get together, and
You guys had so much fun. I could tell. I could tell because Marv wasn't talking to me.
We had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of adventures and a lot of stories that can be both told on the air and not on the air.
Yes,
and
one of which can never be told for years to come. But
I learned
it's worth the tell.
I learned a very valuable lesson.
Yes,
it's that you cannot trust Culture Casino around Arnold Palmer, because he will take it and he will drink it, even if it's in a communal refrigerator and very clearly not his. So.
I loved that you showed up at the exact moment he was drinking your Arnold Palmer.
he walked in the room, and I went, where did you get that? He's like, it was in the fridge. And I'm like, it's mine. And he tries to hand it back to me. And I'm like, no, it's yours now.
All right, whoa, don't take the sip yet, Marv. Hold it. Let's do it together, shall we? All right, everybody. Carol, what do we got for our beverage?
Oh, I have a big thing of water.
Wow, now I feel inadequate. Jonas, do you have anything to drink? I mean, we can't see you, so it's just say you do.
I'm definitely out of coffee, but yes, I have switched to water for the rest of the day.
All right, so Marv has an Arnold Palmer. Caro has a water, a giant weapon of a water. Jonas says he's pretending he has a water, and I've got a shaken espresso. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. We do this every time on the show now. It's click it and sip it. You click the like button. We'll take a sip all together in 3, 2, 1. And now,
auditory contribution.
The show can almost begin. But friends, we have one more panelist yet to join. Jonas, is this the first time on the Pro Show?
I believe so. It's the first time that I've ever been with this amazing panelist on the Pro Show.
I know I've been on this person's show before, and I know we've been on panels before. I couldn't remember if it was the first time on the Pro Show, but very excited. Ladies and gentlemen, let's find out who's behind the door today.
Who could that be? Let's go see, boys and girls.
Hey, Flash, how you doing, buddy?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Happy to have you, Flash. Happy to have you, man. Flash, remind us, this is the first time on the Pro Channel, right?
I think I've been on one other time.
One other time, okay. Well, you know, we're gonna throw a ticker tape parade and send you cashews, but since it's the second time, just a standard pack of peanuts. All right, well, Flash, very exciting to have you, buddy, and we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that I think you are, an expert in what you do. Of course, you're a trailblazer, a leader in the space. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say about Masters of the Universe, but also the collapse of boy brands. Something to see. All right, well, Jonas, do we have perhaps super chats out there?
Yes, we do.
Then please.
Super chat, super.
They are super duper chats.
I love putting this up here every single time. Juliet for £2. Afternoon WDW Pro panel and pro rights.
She's
and
the politest mod on the planet.
She is.
Good afternoon to you, Juliet.
Yep. Wilton's dad for 5, being a bribed shill since Jonas doesn't pay attention to class. I support my son and say Steve was right. Also going to He-Man, bought tickets today.
Steve was not right. Steve said 80% drop for The Mandalorian. There was on the second weekend. There was an 80% drop from Friday to Friday, but the actual weekend total was originally reported at 69%. We reported on that Park Place and Geeks and Gamers this morning. It was 70.1%.
Yeah, kudos, Marv. Way to go.
So I would
all these people.
Steve is wrong. Price or Right rules, he's eliminated.
Tip my mug to you, Marv. Way to go. Steve was wrong. Hashtag Steve was wrong. You know what, though? Steve was closer than me. I've admitted that. But this whole hashtag justice for Steve thing, people, we don't give trophies for being wrong. We don't do that around here. What do you think we are? What do you think this is? Kotaku?
Mark Fields for $2. Positive vibes to you all home with a stomach bug. Thank you for this positive vibes despite that condition. Yikes.
That's right. Mark, those are my diet days. That's how that's when I say, well, I'm on a diet, apparently.
Yep.
People in the chat saying Steve was right. Steve was objectively wrong.
It's like
Price
saying,
of Right rules he went over.
It's like saying, second place matters. Second place is first place loser. Come on.
Amen.
All right. Remind me never to compete with Caro. Ruby Hogue gifted 1 WDW Pro membership and being a member for 25 months says, like, subscribe, and share. Have a fabulous day. All.
Thank you, Ruby. We hope it's fabulous for you as well.
Yep. Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle member for 23 says, 23 months, groovy.
And you know what? I think that's deserving of a clip all of its own. Flying Blind. Congratulations, you are 1 month away from 2 years here on the Pro Channel, and you're dear to us.
Yep. And then for $5 says, "Good day, all." I thought Jonas was floating off into the ether for a second.
Yeah.
Jonas, do the trick. Come on.
What?
You can do the trick. We know you can do the trick. Float. Do your little floaty thing.
I left the rag soaked in ether at home.
You can't. Come on, just.
Hey,
you can't take your body and just kind of.
You gotta.
That thing.
You got to get
Chris
kids to bed
Angel.
somehow. And wait, no, that's the wrong thing. What is it? Here we go.
Don't no.
Undo.
He's not wearing pants, ladies and gentlemen. We need to stay where he is.
Yep. Wolf of McGruffle, the third for $5. The blazer is not blue. Who is this?
What do you think? I'm just going to wear the same clothes every day on this thing?
Yikes.
I think that you wore the blue blazer in the middle of Dollywood in summer, and now it has to go to the cleaners.
It's already been the dry cleaner, and let me tell you, that hot and that humid wearing the full pro outfit was something to see. My favorite thing though from the Dollywood trip was, and we talked about this last night. Fake Wizard is a huge man,
Yeah.
and Fake Wizard walking through Dollywood, and me and him pretending to be Eastern European. And we walked by the Wild Eagle roller coaster, and he couldn't fit on it. He's such a huge guy. He's not fat. He's just like
He's Gregor Clegane the Mountain from.
Yes, and so
Rulon Gardner.
How tall is he?
He's like
about
6'4".
6'5".
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He
he
doesn't look it, but like no, he's a big dude.
so he's 6'5", and I'm about 6 feet tall, and he's walking, I'm walking, but 5-inch difference. I look significantly smaller than he does. So we were playing the role of me being an Eastern European dad, and these families are turning around, they're looking at us because they're kind of concerned because I'm going, "Why did you not ride the eagle? I tell you, you stupid! You don't ride the eagle." And Wiz is saying, "Please, Papa, don't hit me anymore." And these families are looking around like, "Oh, what is happening behind us? You're too stupid, son. I tell you these things. You do not listen. I will send you back to old country."
Bad News Badger for 50 Danish crowns. The most scripted part of the show is the super chats. Yes, they are, but still I changed them somehow.
And the script written by you.
5 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you,
Thank you, Bad News. It's a misnomer, though. You're always good news to us.
Just a Dutchie for €6. Tuesday vibes. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Arthur Ashe. That sounds like a song.
like that one.
I love the quote.
Yeah. Cohen Film for $10. For me, it was, well, good to see you, Pro. Jonas next. I have no idea what you mean.
What? Jonas, you're going to be in IMAX.
It's gonna be good to see you next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the $10, Cohen Film.
Peer
Ken
pressure.
Reinhardt, $2. I find I'm all for the collapse of boy bands. They kind of collapsed in the 2000s there, and they made a resurgence.
These boy brands, they're not making a resurgence, though. I'll tell you that.
Except
Boy
when they
bands,
came back.
however, might be at least in Korea.
Yeah, I was going to say, but when they came back, they were all Korean. England
Smooth
DG for
like
$2.
butter.
I'm seeing Weird Al tonight in concert.
Oh, awesome. Where's Weird Al tonight? That would be, he's got to be, is he in Florida tonight? I think he's in Florida tonight. I don't know. England, tell us where.
Wilton's dad for $2. I'll bribe Kara with some money for her charity.
Oh,
that's
I
a
mean,
bribe.
I'm not getting the money, but the children will be very thankful for it. Thank you.
It's for the children, Wilton's
For
dad.
the babies, please.
And our last one for the duration here, JSNWLBRN98. I'm not saying that again, for $10. Marvin, I too was expecting Rush Limbaugh. Love you guys. Love the Pro Show.
Yeah, we were saying that I think everyone expected Pro to look like Rush Limbaugh, and I know I was. The first time I met Pro, he walked up to a table where I was sitting with Ron Bradley and Lorena Creole, and I thought he was going to ask us if anybody was using that chair, and he could take it, like over to another table. So definitely was not expecting him to look like that.
With talent on loan from Walt.
I think I'm the only one that looks like they do off the screen, but the hilarity is that when I meet everybody off screen, I don't know who they are, like every time.
I will say, Carol, you are one of the most authentically nice persons off camera as well. I mean, you just exude pleasantness and generosity. It's really, you are a great asset to everybody that you work with.
It sounds like you weren't there when I was line managing, and that's okay.
Well, once she gets out the stick, it's time to run.
Cohen film for 10. For me, it was wearing Raul Julian cap.
There you go. There you go. Well, you know what? You can always wear your cap when it's Taco Tuesday, and today it is.
Let's take extra care to follow the instructions or you'll be put to sleep. And don't forget Taco Tuesday's coming next week. That's the day every rule-following citizen gets a free taco and my love.
All right, Jonas, today's docket took me longer than just about any show we've ever done to prep. That's because we're going places we didn't think we were going. The research has been done. Are we ready for liftoff, sir?
Let's do it.
All right, Flash. It's time. Let's take you through the gamut, the gauntlet, and see what happens on the other side. Folks, hang tight. Let's talk about the collapse of boy brands, not bands, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is happening as we speak. The destruction of boy brands all across Hollyweird, and they don't know what to do with it. Let's go now to Geeks and Gamers, calling this one already Masters of the Universe, not even out. And already they're shouting, it's done for. Marvin Montanaro is the man covering all of this. It says, Motu box office projections point to disastrous opening weekend. Not good for Adam, eh? The latest box office tracking for Amazon MGM and Mattel's Masters of the Universe should have executives at Castle Grayskull reaching for the panic button. Despite months of marketing, a recognizable brand name, and generally positive reactions to the film's trailers, the live-action adaptation of the beloved He-Man franchise is currently tracking for a domestic debut of 25 to 35 million. And let's just remind you, this is a primarily domestic franchise. That's not merely below expectations for a film carrying a reported 170 production budget. By the way, if it's 100 million onto that for marketing, it likely is. This thing needs at least $500 million to break even. Holy moly. It's the kind of opening that raises immediate questions about whether a planned franchise can survive long enough to even get a sequel. And I gotta say, if it comes out to this amount, sequel is toast. There is no chance, there is no way this happens. But this is something that I think we're seeing more broadly than just Masters of the Universe. Star Wars has just come out and cratered completely, totally over. It's gone. See ya, sayonara. And guess what else, folks? We're starting to see that, Avengers might be in trouble too, and that's why I think there's panic across Hollyweird about the boy brands. Before we talk about this Russo brothers thing that's going down with Marvel and how I think it's another sign that people are over this, I'm going to Flash first and just ask Flash, as we look at the damage that was done in the past, maybe people have moved on and they're not willing to forgive. Maybe they have no interest in forgiving Star Wars. They have no interest after the Kevin debacle with Masters of the Universe. Like they're just done, and it doesn't matter if they apologize. They're never coming back. What do you think about the idea that we're in full-blown boy brand collapse?
Well, I think it's just Hollywood that's in collapse with it. The people have moved on to other avenues, especially younger people. They're all watching anime, they're reading manga, they're watching TikTok, they're playing video games. They're not interested in any of this shit. And everyone's aging out. Star Wars is just a bunch of middle-aged men going to see this. That's the last audience that's left for Star Wars, as much as they don't want that. And no one's interested in He-Man anymore. They won't even call it He-Man. It'd probably do better if they called it He-Man.
It would.
But they're not going to do that. And if this dies, this is doing worse than I thought it would do. I thought it was going to do at least 100 million. It might get crushed by Scary Movie.
Oh, it definitely will.
Well, I'll tell you too. I'm surprised that it's not doing better, and I'm saddened that it's not doing better. But I think what we're watching now is that these brands have been so damaged that people don't care. Like we've missed a generation now. So, Marv, do you want to walk us through what was done to Masters of the Universe and the damage there and why?
I think this actually goes beyond just brands being damaged. I think it is a fundamental problem with Hollywood attempting to reach men and boys at this stage because they have forgotten how to speak to men. They don't understand how to appeal to them anymore because they've spent so many years trying actively to not appeal to them. So because of that, you've got a bunch of trailers that came out for this. They were actually pretty popular. These trailers that came out for Masters of the Universe, a lot of people were saying that this looked really good, this looked really fun. And then you have the director and the actress who plays Tila coming out, and they start talking about toxic masculinity.
Yep.
Now, I understand what the director was getting at. He was basically saying it's the difference between being a good man and a bad man, or a hero and a villain. And when if he had said it like that, I think nobody would have blinked. But the fact that he is putting it in this culture war progressive filter, which is the only way that Hollywood now knows how to speak, men, boys, all of them, they're just tuning it right out. They're not responding to it. They tried to make the pronoun joke in the first one with the he, him man. And even though I do actually think that's supposed to be a joke, people are not in the mood to even hear it as a joke. Meanwhile, you have got Scary Movie coming out. And what is Scary Movie promising us? A return to comedy. The Wayans have been saying, since the beginning, this is going to be unapologetic comedy. The first thing they did was rip into pronouns in the trailer in a way that was obvious that that's what they were doing. And then you've got, Jackass coming out later this summer as well, up against Supergirl, and I think that's going to trounce Supergirl. I think you have comedy that's actively pushing back against the woke era, and people are going to respond to that more than they're going to respond to something like this, where they're trying to market it for men, and they just don't know how. I mean, Star Wars, they spent so much time trying to make Star Wars into a girl brand that if you're an 11 or 12-year-old boy, you have never lived in a time where Star Wars has been for you. So why would you care about The Mandalorian and Grogu?
I think you're exactly right. I want to pivot to Marvel in just a minute because I think there's panic. I mean, there's real panic now because this is two major boy brand franchises that are in total, we're not in, we can have some sort of conversation about is it dead or not? They're dead. And even before we get in the first weekend, if these projections hold, wow. I mean, this is awful. This is terrible. Carol, do you want to speak to this idea about the marketing, including toxic masculinity and what these celebrities are saying, just being so out of touch? If I'm Marvel at this point, I'm putting handlers with everybody involved. We're checking everything you say because $1 billion is on the line here. You can't get into politics right now if you're going to be in Avengers Doomsday. What do you think about this idea?
I think they're definitely out of touch in the sense that at this point, we're very picky with our money and time, right? Even my husband and I, when we're considering going to the movie, we're literally looking at all factors to decide if it's something that we want to invest in. And if it's not, we're not going to go, because we have the price of movie tickets, which is abysmally high right now.
Yep. Crazy high.
Yeah, there's the time commitment, and then there's if we're actually going to be entertained. I always tell authors that whenever you make something, you have to make it better than a pumpkin spice latte, because most of the time when people buy a pumpkin spice latte, they know exactly what they're going to get and they're going to like it, right? So if you can't guarantee that, then you're not in for a good time. But this weird marketing thing where these people are coming out and still saying the same stuff that hasn't been working since 2018 is kind of wild to me, because at this point you'd think that they would be kind of like, this doesn't seem to be working. We say these things and the audience is not checking in. It's so odd. Let's just go ahead and put the movie out on streaming because maybe we'll make some money that way while the theater suffers. That's fantastic.
Right.
It's the only way they know how to talk.
The economy is terrible right now. So, and that's another factor in a lot of this is people just don't want to. I mean, if you've got a couple of kids, it's a very expensive time to go to the movie theaters.
Right? Yeah, and a lot of people don't think about this. So when the price of gas, price of oil, when that rises, it has a more direct impact on people who have less discretionary income. So who is going to see these movies? Teenagers, young men, right? And they have less discretionary income than ever before. Plus, they're trying to pay for the games. And games, that industry is 14 times bigger than the box office. And games have never been so expensive as they are now. So people are being crushed in the wallet.
And when it comes to Masters of the Universe, I think that there is a perception out there that the franchise itself has gone woke. And I think that's carried over from the Kevin Smith Netflix cartoon.
Yeah, that's where I was hoping we would go because there's legacy damage now for these boy brands. And people are not forgiving that. Walk us through that, Marv.
Yeah, so Kevin Smith put out a Masters of the Universe cartoon. It was highly built around He-Man and Skeletor. Mark Hamill was playing Skeletor, I remember, and then they killed off He-Man and Skeletor in the first episode, and the entire show was about Teela. They eventually do bring them back in the end, but the whole show is about Teela. It was the ultimate girl boss bait and switch. Kevin, it was leaked beforehand.
It's Last Jedi, right? I mean, that's the same thing. Subvert your expectations.
Yes.
Yep.
It was leaked beforehand, and Kevin Smith, vociferously, pushed back on it, saying that it wasn't true. This is a He-Man show, and then it wasn't a He-Man show, and everybody was like, "You made a He-Man show without He-Man," and his response was, "Well, I made a show called Masters of the Universe." Like it was absolutely insulting, and I think a lot of that stink is still on the franchise. I think a lot of longtime fans of the franchise, who should have been the target audience for this, have probably written it off now as Hollywood has its teeth in it. They're never going to let something called He-Man win. Even in IGN's review, the headline of it was "He-Man is a dumb name."
Poor IGN. We feel sorry for them.
We don't.
Okay,
They do it
so
to themselves.
let's talk about the panic, though, that's got to be happening right now in regards to Avengers Doomsday. Jonas, this is what we got out of Comic Book Movie. The Russo brothers' Avengers Doomsday surprise has been revealed, and fans are absolutely fuming. Josh Wilding writing it, says, marketing gone wrong or lesson not to get too excited about something that isn't confirmed. Either could be used to describe today's Avengers Doomsday surprise, which amounted to the Russo brothers showing up at a coffee shop to sign autographs and take photos with fans. People were expecting a big trailer, all this kind of stuff. Instead, they get the same kind of thing that we saw with the Star Wars marketing, which was a bunch of influencers. Look at this. Nexus Point News. We are at the Avengers Doomsday pop-up with the Russo bros. Well, how did you get there? How did you know about it? Oh, because this was for influencers. Oh, I see now. I get it. Yeah, influencer time. 10-4, 10-4, right? So this is a huge problem for them. If we go back to the article,
signing stuff for him. Is that what he's doing there?
yeah, just signing his name, and they showed off the Latveria flag for the influencers, and you can see we've got here. Let's see if we can blow this up. Okay, here's the thing.
I have a dumb question.
Boy, look at the throngs of fans. They just can't get to them. Go ahead, Carol.
The dumb question was not 3 weeks ago. I thought influencers were bad. Isn't that what we heard Robert Downey Jr.? Yeah.
Well,
What's happening? I'm so confused. These are mixed signals.
it's the influencers who say no words. Okay, who have no ideas.
That's
Those
me.
are the bad
I
ones.
say
Yeah.
no words.
But you can see, I mean, this is not for average, ordinary people, and it's not organic, it's synthetic, et cetera, and I think we've got a photo at the bottom. Let me see. We don't. Oh, we'll try to find
How
it
many
later.
people know the Russos by sight, though? Like, how many people would see them and just be, hey, isn't that the gay guy from the beginning of Avengers Endgame?
Or the guy
Well,
who
that's
gets
why you got to
murdered
set it
in
up, right?
Captain America.
Yeah, I wouldn't recognize
Civil
them.
War.
So, Jonas, it's again the same kind of thing where we had with Pedro. We have to go find people. We have to go find influencers. And what I think this indicates to us is there may be an enthusiasm gap that they're starting to realize. And if I'm Disney right now, I am panicked out of this world because they're making the most expensive movie ever made, probably. And there's no guarantee it's going to make $500 million.
Yeah, they've got to. They really have to step up their game with the marketing on this one because I'll just point to the Marvels, a movie that was definitely marketed on the idea that it was a continuation of the Avengers. Do you remember those bait and switch?
They had Josh Brolin record Thanos lines for the trailers.
Exactly. So when you look at the marketing machine that Disney could have for a movie like Avengers, obviously everything they've done with the Mandalorian and Grogu didn't work. There's some angry people who are tagging me trying to say that we had some effect on the Mandalorian and Grogu box office. I think if we're going to take credit for that, we would have to take some credit for Masters of the Universe doing well. Oh, wait, it's
We
not.
did marketing for them. We should get paid.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonas,
Give all the credit to Disney for that one.
we need to have a strategic meeting. I'm not so sure we should, forego that we had, an influence if that's what they're going to say about us. Let's talk about that. Let's have about 30 minutes in private and say, should we take credit?
I'm gonna echo something that was said here. So Masters of the Universe is essentially a dead brand. It's a toy brand that they've basically done nothing with. There's not been any new developments in the lore since the first He-Man, even New Adventures of He-Man. No one talks about that show anymore. Okay, there was a Masters of the Universe cartoon on Netflix. Maybe there was 2 of them. I forget. Like this
it's
this is not an
28
active brand.
million though. 28 million to 35, Jonas. That's awful.
What I'm saying is it heavily depends on a middle-aged demographic, and the marketing for this film has not been aimed at a middle-aged demographic. So what are they going to bring kids? You know what kids want to go to? Backrooms. Backrooms is doing amazing, and it's a 19-year-old directed this while he was in between periods in class or something. I mean, that is a movie, by the way, could have been marketed with toxic masculinity. They absolutely kept that away from the marketing, even though if you want to give some classical definition of that, yeah, you could. An alcoholic dad who hates his ex-wife, sure. Let's say that's toxic
Is it Backrooms or Obsession that was made for less than $1 million?
Obsession for sure, less than $1 million.
I mean, that's just crazy. It's just crazy.
I think it's like 700,000 something.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
what heard.
I think if this kid wants to keep making Backrooms films, he could have a long line of them. Not that I'm saying he should do that. Looking at this, I think Masters of the Universe, it could be something that it was so close to being something that had multi-generational appeal. You could take something that was an older brand and bring it back and have something awesome, but it's only appealing to that older audience. I guess the ship is sailed on nostalgia at this point. Star Wars is of no interest to general audiences. It's only of interest, I guess, to women in their middle ages, because a lot of men in their middle ages don't care about Star Wars anymore.
Middle-aged women didn't go see it.
Yeah.
So the best performing demo was kids. It was boys, but they didn't market it to the boys.
Right.
And this Master, Jonas, I get the sense from you, you're not as worried about Marvel though as I am. I'm looking at this and saying, I'm afraid that, there's a ripple effect here. This is a tsunami, and it's aimed at boy brands, and Marvel could fall, and we'll know that in December. You don't seem to be so worried for them.
It's Schrodinger's movie here, because we don't know if there'll be a bunch of people who are like, oh yeah, this is the sequel to the thing I saw in 2019. It's going to be good. Or because all of these people have checked out between 2019 and 2026 on what Marvel is doing at the box office. So if they see Avengers as the brand, yeah, they're going to show up to an Avengers movie. But if they see Marvel Cinematic Universe as the brand, no, absolutely not. But I think if they see Robert Downey Jr. on screen across from Chris Evans, they're going to be like, oh, that's the thing that I haven't been paying attention to. Let's check in on that.
Answer me this, though. Has there ever been a property that has gone woke and then come back? Like successfully gone woke, then rebranded, ditched it all, and then come back? Because I can't think of one. And
How's Budweiser? How's Budweiser doing?
I don't think they're back.
Not great. Jaguar dropped 99% of their profits after going woke.
I honestly don't think they are, because that's
that was funny.
Yeah. I can come up with a career. Brie Larson seems to be rehabilitating herself. I can't think of a company though.
She's done one film so far. So,
we got a Brie hater over there. Oh,
no, I'm rooting for her with the rebranding. Yeah. I'm just saying it's not proven yet.
She's had some good moments, especially when she was at that, whatever it was in France, and she didn't really want to comment on the Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah. They've been trying to bait her into it, and I remember so one guy asked her about toxic male fans of Marvel, and her publicist basically jumped in front, slow motion dived in front of the interviewer, By the way, I do want to also say, when we're talking about the fact that He-Man had already gone woke with Masters of the Universe, that the chat reminded me, I couldn't remember who it was. That was Clownfish that had initially leaked that it was going to do this, and then you had Kevin Smith attack them essentially. I think all of the He-Man fans were already put off by that, and now we're in that same situation where Star Wars and Marvel are. And we just made the point here, no one has ever successfully come back from that.
Well, I want to go to Flash for the final thought on this, because two boy brands are doing just fine as far as I can tell, maybe more, but Mario and Sonic are A-okay. And from the get-go, Sega and Nintendo have made sure Hollywood could not turn these into woke properties. Sonic's best friend in the movies is a cop, a white cop married to a black lady, and they have a very happy, normal family, and there's not a single woke thing. There's no politics in it. They shut up Jim Carrey every time he's in the movie. He doesn't say a single thing TDS, and he's full of TDS. Mm-hmm. Mario, we've heard from Shigeru Miyamoto, has said, he said that he told them, we're not doing a single fart joke. We're not doing anything crass. We're going to treat kids like they're smart and wise and all this kind of stuff. And so they've made a concerted effort, and that seems to be winning. So, Flash, what are some brands that stand to win as these other brands fall?
Well, saying Jim Carrey, I think he's actually capable. I mean, he says dumb shit, but he usually doesn't say dumb shit during his. I'm sorry, I'm swearing again.
It's okay, Josh, you're good. You're good. Keep going. Keep going.
He usually doesn't do dumb stuff during his marketing for movies. He usually stays pretty professional, and then it's when he's not working that he just kind of runs his mouth. So I think he understands the game better than a lot of these other people like Millie Alcock and Rachel Zegler.
Millie. Oh, it's Supergirl. You talk about we're in a race right now. Which one's going to do worse, Supergirl or Masters of the Universe? That's worthy of a poll.
Supergirl.
I think it's going to be a lot more. I think it's more important that Supergirl is going to be terrible. Not important to us, but important to that studio right there and James Gunn's reputation.
James Gunn might be done.
James Gunn. Putting up smoke screens. That's the thing
exactly.
that gets me.
The Lexo suit yesterday, the mech suit for Lex Luthor, that was 100% a, hey, stop talking about how bad Supergirl looks. Look, she's going to be in this movie. Aren't you excited for this movie? Well, you got to go see that movie to see this movie.
Right. They're already giving up on the idea you would go see the movie just on your own. Yeah. All right, folks, we'll keep an eye on it. But the brands, they are crashing. Is Hollywood cratering with them? Did they bet everything on destroying the boy brand, subverting your expectations? Well, we told them they had. And now the truth is here. Now, for those who don't know, as we were talking and Flash said, oh, I said a naughty word, I said a swear word, because we are syndicated on news platforms, we try to keep it PG, and also so the kids out there who are sitting in the minivans with you as you drive around, or your boss who is peering over your shoulder saying, who is this you're watching every day when you're supposed to be working? We just try to keep it a little clean so that we're available wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. That's the goal here. And Jonas J. Campbell, we've got super chats, but we also, between segments here, I need to show you something, Jonas.
Oh, no. Okay.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I need to show you. I want you to be ready, Jonas.
Okay. All right.
Hold on, okay? Forcefully.
I mean, I'm on the clock, so you just whatever.
All right.
England DG for $5. Augusta, Georgia, at the Miller Theater. I saw him there before. He sang Peach's side story about the Miller. It was bought out by James Brown and renovated. Well,
I would love to have heard James Brown sing Peaches.
That would
Peaches, Peaches. Huh.
I think there'd be like heavy horns in the background on that one. Enjoy Weird Al. I've always wanted to see him in concert. Where's my Zootopia 3 for $5? Yellow Flash's Lucky Tom is not on, or they would be yelling how gay Masters of the Universe is. He-Man. Yep. Says Sephiroth for €5. Pro, remind me of Austin St. John. Not 100%, but when I look at him, I just see the OG Red Ranger.
You know what? I have never noticed that before, and I can kind of see it.
Do you have the one earring on one side so everyone can?
Hey, whoa. That means something different today, Jonas.
I would hope so. Play Xenosaga for $5. They need to stop planning franchises when they don't even have a good first entry. They need to start focusing on making good products first. Absolutely. There's nothing that makes me want to see a movie less than them saying, oh, and we're going to build a whole cinematic universe on this. I want a good story more than I want a sequel. Corin Horn Jedi Knight for $5. Hi, first time super chat. Can we get a Master movie or Scrayverse challenge going? Masters of the Universe and Scary movie.
Scary movie.
Yeah,
I honestly think that it's a foregone conclusion at this point that Scary Movie 6 is going to outdo Masters of the Universe this weekend.
Well, especially budget-wise, it's going to make its money back.
People are excited about the return of comedy. They want to see comedy that is unapologetic anymore. We just saw it at the Kevin Hart roast when Tony Hinchcliffe went out there and destroyed, and they're all like freaking out about it now. And the vast percentage of Americans are like, "Shut up."
I think nobody cares what Chelsea Handler.
I like how they got all offended on Kevin Hart's behalf, and then he told him to go pound sand.
Exactly. I was shocked that Kevin Hart was like, "Oh no, we're not going to." I'm not going to hate on that. I was really shocked by that.
Folks, we're going to put this poll out. I'm not going to put Scary Movie because I think that's a foregone conclusion right now, but I'm going to put the poll out. You all in the chat type 1 or 2, And it's going to disappear while we read the super chats, but we'll come back to it. Which one's going to do better at the box office? Masters of the Universe or Supergirl? You tell us what you think. Jonas, continue on, please.
Blah, blah, blah for 5. Future historians will look back at and explain away the issue as economics, politics, wars, and miss the 3 simple words. They made garbage. I was just watching a podcast from Puck News, and they tried to act like the whole thing is money. Like, no. People are actually kind of starved for good entertainment. You look at the things that people are watching online, and what's woke that's doing well in streaming right now? Doctor Who is essentially free to whoever watches it, and it was a disaster in the ratings.
The only woke show that is doing really well is The Pit.
I haven't seen it.
My wife likes it. It's aggressively woke, but it is doing very well.
And your wife is not aggressively woke.
She is not. No,
I've met her. She's
yeah. She just really likes medical dramas because she used to work in a hospital.
Your wife is aggressively based, I would say.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Mike Nair for 5. If they saw the declining birth rates coming, then they probably would have kept the installed fan bases happy. My wife and I buy toys and games for us. That's right. More franchises with hot people in them. That's how to get the birth rate going. He-Man. WJB Daily for 5. Long-term fans have long-term memories. Studios, brands, or stars. We have been burned and will not turn on the word of these shills, marketing, etc. Yeah, nobody trusts anybody for their opinions anymore. They'll go see for themselves.
Yeah, it's time to show me or else. I think that's where we are.
Yep. Flying Blind out of Rocket Cycle for 5. Perhaps Marvel could do an influencer equivalent of the Cat Cafe stream for Marvel.
Boy, that didn't go well.
Man, I forgot.
Had you forgot about that?
Oh yeah, is that what happened with Avengers with somebody was talking about it, they're mad. People are mad about a Doom Cafe thing or something.
Oh, I haven't heard about a Doom Cafe. Let's add on to it. Yeah,
they were supposed to have some big reveal, and it turned out to be a coffee shop.
Right.
Oh, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah. It was the Russos were walking through. IGN was making it out like it was going to be the trailer. I think they ran a headline saying the Avengers Doomsday trailer is coming.
They timed the coffee shop with the shills. They timed that at the exact same time the other trailers have released. So, IGN's silly, but in this case, I can see why they thought that.
It was really funny though, because they said they did a headline that said the trailer is coming out tomorrow, and then today they did a headline that was like fans are angry because the trailer didn't come out, and they got community noted where it said fans thought the trailer was coming out because IGN said the trailer was coming out.
Right, you gotta love it.
I love that.
You gotta love it.
Mark of Reality for $10. If you guys are the ones who tanked Mando and Grogu, then thank you. Sick of these nuts destroying every last franchise I grew up with. Now I want to know what they're really doing to He-Man.
What up, Mark?
They're giving us way too much credit that we could possibly be the ones that tank this. We didn't tank this, but if any of the words that I've written over the last several weeks have stopped anyone from going to see this movie, then I'm proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's been too many things that we all hate that are successful, or things that are just okay. I'll give you, for instance, all of us thought Barbie was going to be woke, and it kind of was, but also it appealed to an audience that doesn't care if things are woke, and that is generally women that are not in this space. So,
I'm trying to think: is there a movie that we've hated that did well though? I mean,
there have been we weren't crazy about the Lilo and Stitch remake, and that did really well.
Yeah.
Moana 2's crap. It did. See,
that did really well.
Moana 2 is just absolute crap, we would have sunk that, if our words had that kind of power.
Too. Yeah. One more. Avatar would be dead in the water if the commentary in the space had really any effect.
No, Jay will compensate. Jay will compensate for everything we say bad about Avatar.
And I'll say I've kind of turned around on Avatar. The first Dragon Queen member for 18 months. I'm going to see He-Man. I'm not a scary movie fan. Again, I'm weird. I'm supposed to be doing things and haven't done so. So I'll get to that. Lurking. Hugs for all. Well, you're not a lurker anymore.
No, first Dragon Queen. You're one of our faves to see out in the chat. It's good to see you. And I'm waiting for Culture to get me the thing I need from you. It should be here any day.
Yep, really. Snell's World for 5. We as a family are going to see the Motu movie Wednesday and then on Friday and Saturday. Think the movie is going to do great in theaters. That's awesome.
Whoa. Hang on a second. Moment of panic here by Pro. When does this movie come out?
I thought it was Thursday.
People have already seen this movie.
Yes, I know, but when does it come out? What's the first day? Because the first day is when I have to do the review. Am I going tomorrow to see Master of the Universe and I don't know it?
Maybe. We'll plan around it. England DG for 5. The first time I saw Weird Al in concert, he was the opening act for the Monkees at the Kansas State Fair. I've seen him 11 times. He's great.
Can I tell you that I think Weird Al is probably the second or third most impressive musician I've seen in concert. And Paul McCartney and Aerosmith might be 1 and 2. And I wish I had seen, Ray Charles and some of those guys, in concert, but I did not get the chance to. I know everybody says Michael Jackson was insane. And I've heard from, people much older than me that Elvis was incredible. But the thing about Weird Al in concert is his guitarist, his lead guitarist. I can't remember his name, but he comes out on stage with like 12 different stringed instruments, and he plays every single one of them, as well as the bands that are famous for playing them. And you just, after about the 6th or 7th that he picks up, you think, how can anybody be this good at that many instruments and play them with this kind of skill? It's insane.
Amazing. Love to see it one day. Just a Dutchie for €11. Source: Forbes. Tech and retail giants like Google, Meta, McDonald's, Home Depot, and Pepsi have also quietly scrubbed DEI language from investor filings and pared back their programs. A lot of them got with it when they realized, oh, wait, this is illegal.
Yeah. And I wasn't talking about consumer products and things like that. I was mostly talking about like entertainment brands. But I mean, I don't think like McDonald's, or Pepsi or anything like that ever went fully into that realm where it was negatively impacting their bottom line, like not the way that Marvel or Masters of the Universe or Star Wars has.
And I just want to say the audience is reading my mind because we're going to talk about the collapse of Pride Month as our next topic.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, let's get in some more trouble.
Oh, Disney's sticking in there with it though. Or Walt Disney World is, at least. Snell's World for 5. They are doing fan screenings tomorrow at select theaters.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I'll have to see what's going on. All right, folks. In the poll we've got, which one will make more? Masters of the Universe winning right now dramatically. 88%, only 12% of you say that Supergirl has even a chance of smashing He-Man. So not looking good for DC. When you consider that Masters of the Universe is projected right now to get 28 to 35 on the opening weekend, you all out there, and I don't fight with you. You all out there saying that Supergirl is going to get like 20 million in its opening weekend.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think the last time we checked, Marv, Supergirl needs like 400 to break even.
Well, Supergirl low end projections is 47 million for opening weekend, which is the same as the Marvels. And I think, but the reason I voted for Masters of the Universe here is because I think that there's a chance that this movie is actually good and word of mouth will pick it up in the subsequent weeks. So we'll see. I think Supergirl will have the opposite. But I mean, Supergirl probably needs somewhere in the 400 millions to break even.
10-4. Not going to happen. All right, folks. The end of James Gunn just might be coming to DC anytime now. Jonas, the end of your reign as Mr. King Supreme when it comes to clips is here. I just want you to know what's about to happen to you. Jonas, everybody loves Jonas is back, right?
I'm
Had to bring him
feeling
back.
pretty confident.
Jonas is back.
I think I'm doing just fine.
Last night, ladies and gentlemen, we debuted Real Life Fake Wizards clip. It's Fake Wizard Real Fighting. That's the name of it. Jonas, hang on.
I know why you have come, real life fake wizard. You are here to reclaim your family's land. Let us fight.
It's time for fake wizard, real fighting. It's time for battle so exciting.
What is this madness?
When
You shall not
enemies
pass.
are all
report.
Real fake wizardry. You You thought thumbnails were amazing, but you didn't think he could bring down the big boss in low budget Tammo Hood. He's a macho man. We got your hands. Roundhouse kick will do the trick. Hit you with the Gandalf stick. Let's get to real life fake wiz fighting. Let's get to eye gouging and biting. There's no dignity in loss, so kick them in the draws. Let's get to real life fake wiz fighting. Let's get to clawing and conspiring. YouTube is just for kicks. He's in the dojo, he don't miss.
Here, taste my rap.
Let's get to real life fake wiz fighting. Let's get to eye gouging and biting. There's no dignity in loss, so kick them in the draws. Let's get to real life fake wiz fighting. Let's get to clawing and conspiring. YouTube is just for kicks. He's in the dojo, he don't miss. Let's get to real life. Let's get to real life fake wiz fighting. Let's get to real life. Let's get to real life fake wiz fighting.
You win. I know.
My favorite part is how he always has like that slightly confused look on his face.
Yes.
Yeah,
I will say that the AI definitely thinks he's Asian.
Yes,
Jonas,
it does.
Jonas, I don't know if you noticed, there were some of the clips we had to play in reverse a few times to pad it out. Do you notice that?
Right? Is he? Where is
Yeah.
he kicking people? It sounded like he was kicking them in the where?
Draws. The draws, Jonas.
In the knee.
Same
Kick him
area,
in the
different
knee.
word than I thought. Yeah.
Hey, Jonas, I ran out of tokens yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, I ran out of tokens. I had to play the clips in reverse a few times.
I think Jonas's back is safe because it's a pop.
Hey, Jonas.
Yeah.
Real life fake whiz fighting 2.0 comes out next week.
I thought it might be. I'm not
Yeah.
safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know what else isn't safe? Pride Month. That's a segue. Well, here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. We've just been covering the collapse of Pride Month, and whatever you think about these sorts of things, we're not here to be your nannies. We're not here to tell you what to believe. We're simply here to cover the news, especially when it comes to entertainment and entertainment companies. And guess what? They have abandoned Pride Month. Let's talk about it. First of all, you can see that the familiar faces are out yet again. Here in 2026, Kamala Harris, former candidate for president, says, Pride is joy, pride is courage, pride is a celebration, and pride is the ongoing fight to ensure every person can live as their authentic self. There you go. So there's Kamala, she's in. But the companies, not so much. If we go to Fox News, you can see the NFL's main social media accounts remained silent about Pride Month on its first day, and we recently ran through the companies that remained silent. It included Disney. It included Microsoft. It included basically Universal. I mean, every company you can imagine in entertainment, the Star Wars account, the Marvel account, nobody was putting on the colors of the logos as you remember. And it's not going unnoticed. How so? Well, this article's behind a paywall, but we can see as much as we need, and so I've actually decided to use it. We rarely do this kind of thing, but NorthJersey.com, Jim Beckerman gives us just enough that I think it's important to read it. Pride, once filled with joy, is changing. Here are the new realities. It says Montclair's Pride Festival kneecapped by a $100,000 loss of corporate funds has had to be postponed from June 13th to August 1st. Organizers have announced. Princeton's Pride Parade will go on June 13th, but with the loss of 60 to 75% of its corporate backing. New York Pride, with its famed annual parade and street festival June 28th, reportedly has lost some $500,000 in sponsorship. So everywhere you look, the money is being pulled from these things. And how bad is it for the Pride organizers? Well, this is something you don't expect to see, I promise you. Phoenix Pride, support, engage, empower, says this. Phoenix Pride, and this literally just came out on June 1st. Phoenix Pride has made the incredibly difficult decision to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection as part of a financial restructuring process aimed at preserving the future of our organization. And folks, you can see it here. It goes on to talk about all of this. It says Phoenix Pride intends to continue serving the community throughout this process while working closely with legal and financial advisors to create a sustainable future. June 1st, announcing bankruptcy. Now, why would that happen, folks? Because the corporations have pulled out, most likely, from all of these things. I mean, hugely. But what if I told you it's not just the corporations, it's not just entertainment. Entertainment companies are reacting to you. What do I mean? Check the Google Trends. Simply searching for the word pride. And again, we're not here to tell you folks what to do with your time. We're not here to tell you what to believe when it comes to your bedroom and what you do there. No. We protect kids, but grown-ups, you do whatever you want to do. Here's the deal, though. If we go back to 2022, right here, 2022, you can see it maxed out on this graph at 93%. In 2023, searches for Pride Month had dropped 4 points to 89. In 2024, before the Orange Man came and wreaked havoc, apparently, in the minds of so many, this had dropped to 69 points on the chart there. And in 2025, it had dropped all the way down to 66. Man, these are strange numbers in this. But continue with me, folks. Today, we do not have the June numbers like we can see before, but I can tell you that it's on the downward trend again. If we look at the April to March lead up, 28%. If we go back in time to April through March, 30%. So a two basis point drop. And that means probably this 66 is going to turn into 64, 62, or even as low as 60 this year, especially with so many of these organizations dropping, flopping, and going down. The only people who are holding it up, Pride Month that is, apparently sports teams and the government leaders in blue cities. For example, Milwaukee leaders kick off Pride Month at courthouse with ceremony raising Intersex Progress Pride flag. And there you can see the name of that flag. Guys, girls, I think what we're watching here is that this has turned into essentially, and if we click on the buttons here, I think you'll see what I'm talking about. This is essentially now a Democrat Party month celebration. It's amorphous. It's just, but the marketplace has already decided, the public has already gone, the Google searches show that, and the corporations, I think, are reacting to the lack of interest out of the audience, and, there's too much cost if nobody cares anymore. So, panel, and I'll start with you, Carol, what do you make of just the change, how rapid society has shifted? Because 3 years ago, every company changed their logos. 3 years ago, every company weighed in, and it's crickets. 3 years later.
I have so much to say on this topic.
Please.
So I'll try and keep it concise. I think like several of us and people in the chat, I grew up in the 80s where if you said that you were gay, they sent you to a special facility and they shocked it out of you, right? And
right, which we would not advocate for ever. Yeah.
No, of course not. And so we
never.
We grew up learning about these stories, and when the original movement for I'll call them Rainbow Squad came out, a lot of people were behind it because, I think people wanting to find love and be with somebody that they genuinely cared about and who cared about them was something that we could all get behind. And one of the things that happened is because this was such a socially popular thing to support, it got a lot of power. And if there's one thing I know about when things get power, they also get narcissists in them because they want to abuse that power.
Yep.
So these types of individuals basically hijacked the whole movement and kind of took it over and manipulated it in order to get, I don't want to say social clout, that's not the right word, but they would use it to coerce people into doing things that they didn't like.
And do you think too, Carol, that were these the same people who were behind making it be kind of a hedonistic thing where it was just, you had this, grotesque level of display of whatever in front of kids on sidewalks?
Yeah, the inappropriateness, right?
Yeah.
Because they were like, "Look, we're just being ourselves, and myself is wanting to expose myself in public where children are there." I mean, we've all seen the pictures, right? And I will never forget when we had we'll call it story time, right? And I was the inappropriate teacher because when we had story time for people that like to wear makeup and dresses that don't normally wear makeup and dresses, me trying to keep this PG, I was like, can we do it for the people that like to take their clothes off on a pole? You know, because I think that would be fair, right? And they were kind of like, no, that's not appropriate. And I was
You're
like, well,
you're
neither
always
is
the
other
one. You're the
Yeah.
one in the meeting that everybody goes, here comes Caro.
Yeah, so she's gonna open her mouth and she's gonna say things. But I was
Right.
like, the one's not appropriate and the other one's not appropriate either. They both need to not be here,
Yeah.
right?
Darn you and your logic.
Yeah, and the reason people didn't want to push back on this new we'll call it a trend, right? This trend was because they didn't want to get labeled, right? At one point we were like, we didn't want to get labeled, we didn't want to be seen as wrong, we wanted to let people be the way that they wanted to be. But when that space started moving further into the children's space, that's when we start seeing more pushback. And California is still like notoriously suffering for this, like to the point where they'll just take your children, right? That's called kidnapping last I checked, but you know, I don't live in California. So
Which
I
is
guess
also why people with any sense are leaving California, like as
Yeah.
fast as they can.
Yeah, and I remember talking to one person because at one point I would like, I guess you could call me an ally, but when they started getting like really like into their deep cray, I was like, no, I can't associate with you, which is what happened to a lot of people. I told one of them, I was like, look, I can't help you because if I come and try and advocate for the right thing, I will be attacked, right? You have to start regulating yourselves from within. And because they never had like a social economic dogma to follow, right? It was just Wild West for them. And anytime
Right.
People within them would start to advocate against some of the inappropriate behavior, I mentioned narcissists before. The narcissists have a special, or not special, but they have an argument pattern that they'll use where they turn everything against you and make everything your fault, blah, blah, blah. We've all had this. And so they were doing that to themselves. And so we started seeing a lot more infighting. And on the rise of people trying to abuse this group, because that's ultimately what it was, we started seeing people like, you know, predators moving in and forcing themselves on other individuals. Like, I think we've all heard about like the gay males that will push themselves onto married women. We had a wonderful discussion about that 2 weeks ago. But there's also, you know, the reverse. Like, I will be honest with you, I have been touched inappropriately by a lesbian without my consent. And when I was like, whoa, not okay, she was like, well, we're both women, so it's fine. I was like, no, it's not. It's just
Right.
not. But you know, then that's the thing, that's the kind of behavior that they try and do, and they don't like getting checked. But now we have this wonderful group that I'm particularly fond of. It's called Gays Against Groomers. So anytime there's a pride parade that shows up, they're there too, being like, what's up? We're here to chill with you. Make sure that you stay dressed in front of children. Let's all have a good time. Right?
Yeah, let's talk about that too, that aspect, because Disney has modified the way that they handle this. So you all know how Disney acted in the last 5 years. This year, and under the new CEO Josh D'Amaro, but likely under the direction of Wall Street, because Wall Street's been there before him in terms of being totally in charge. I think things have been reversed even before Bob Iger left. You can see Disneyland After Dark Pride Night, June 16th and 18th. But what's the trick here, folks? It's after dark. It's late. It's less likely that you'll have kids. And so I think Disney is trying to very quietly still have Pride Night in California, not say anything about it on social media, and make it late enough that they don't have to worry as much about the kids being there and the images. Because, and folks, I'm not trying to take a position on this. I'm trying to tell you that the companies, I think, are feeling now, hey, we don't want to be associated with certain aspects of this because we will look terribly on social media the next day. So Disney doesn't want to have what you're talking about, Caro, be associated with Mickey Mouse. And so they're trying now to thread the needle. I don't even know how much longer this lasts. I don't know that Disney continues this,
I'm
in the
just
years to
gonna point
come.
out that event is also marketed as appropriate for all ages, even
It
though
is,
it's
yep.
an evening
Yeah.
event. So
The last thing I want to circle back on, and then I'll let the rest of the panel touch in, is that now, if we remember what happened in the 80s, where if we found out that you were gay, you were immediately socially ostracized. And so as we moved into trying to be socially accepted, we've now moved right back into being socially ostracized because of the people that have been in this group. And my heart goes out to the people who generally just want to live their lives, right? But because now they can't, because they've had these loud individuals basically taint everything that they want to be, which is live peacefully. That's really it. All right, and I'm done. Thank you.
All right, panel, hop in. It's just amazing to me to see the switch in society over just the last 3 years. I mean, this was everywhere. And if you were against it, you were completely and totally ostracized, which is a 180 from what Kara was talking about. But this change happened in just no time.
We covered this last year on That Park Place quite a lot, in that all of the companies last year were suddenly not changing their profile pictures anymore. Everybody but Xbox. Microsoft and Xbox were still doing it. But I think what's starting to happen is the TQ Plus has started to push a lot of people away from celebrating Pride. And a lot of, I grew up doing theater, so I have a lot of friends who are gay, and a lot of them distance themselves from Pride now as well, because they don't like what it's become. They don't like that it's become this corporatized event. They don't like that it's become associated with the TQ Plus, because a lot of them are just trying to live their lives in peace and love and live and just, exist. And they don't want it to be this in-your-face thing, like almost daring you to have a problem with it. I was talking to a friend of mine who's super, super gay, and I said to him, Lorne Connor, you have to know that, it's not the same as it was. And he was like, I know, Marv, I know. So,
Lauren's going to have a lot to say about that.
Okay. Lauren's not gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he's right.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Let's talk about the trajectory on all of this. I'm a Christian, and I have a series on YouTube that I put out originally to let everybody know that Disney is not the company that it used to be. And somewhere in there, it became kind of a moot point because everybody figured out that Disney is not what Walt founded. So I seem to remember in 2015 or 2016, we would have things where stuff would come up, and there would be a pride parade or whatever, and you could just not go to it. As much as I don't think that's compatible with a Christian lifestyle, I know that's already made some people angry by me even pointing that out. It wasn't really an issue until the Obama administration started to do this thing where they said, no, we're going to say who is and is not allowed in your bathroom and who you cannot keep out of your bathroom. So that is the moment. I think they had about 4 years where it reached, I want to say, this peak moment where everyone was like, okay, we'll be polite. And then you get to 2020, and then so much happened on Let's Be Polite that everyone said, nope, we're not doing this anymore. And the cultural threshold for politeness went away very quickly. Because I think the COVID situation reduced the cultural threshold for what is okay, and all of a sudden we're allowed to speak. Obviously, Elon Musk buying Twitter put us in a situation where free speech is allowed to be out there, and I can say I don't care what my neighbor does from a citizen standpoint. Maybe as a Christian, I would want to evangelize to them, but this is the kind of thing where everyone eventually was allowed to say, no, this is actually not okay. You've set the temperature in the water in a way that is not okay for everybody. So I'm going to go do my own thing over here, and you stay away from it. And that was an unacceptable opinion. And now it's an acceptable opinion. So when all these NFL league, franchises or whatever want to come out, and was it the Nashville Predators got owned on social media because they put the Progress Pride flag over the Predators logo, and they said, oh, you're literally doing, I'm not going to say it on this channel because we're trying to be cool with YouTube on this channel, but they got owned. And I think that's fine, because people are allowed to say, I don't like this. I don't want this near the things that I'm doing. And everyone is allowed to coexist in peace, but we don't have to agree with everybody. And I think that is great for America.
Yeah, Flash, why do you think it's the sports teams? It's like every sports team is doing this.
Yeah, the NFL's doing it a lot as well. Not all the teams, though, but a few of them. And what's great is on Elon Musk X, you can mock them ruthlessly, as many are doing. Like any post I see with the Pride Month stuff, people are in the comments just ripping them apart. And I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that the Giants and the Yankees were both doing that, and I said to myself, well, that tracks.
This is the thing, though, that I was shocked before we looked this up. The the fact that we're seeing this kind of decline in the interest, because this is measuring all Google searches, the word pride, period. And year after year, and preceding the return of President Trump, the searches for pride are down. The interest level is down, and it's down like 30%. And it seems to be actually continuing and maybe even accelerating. So I find that interesting. And I wonder if these things had not turned into sort of hedonistic displays where you had naked people riding bicycles, where you had kids being exposed to things they shouldn't be exposed to, whether it's heterosexual, whether it's not. You get the idea, folks. I wonder, did this movement dramatically misplay and go too far in certain areas, and did that destroy it? But I think right now, as I'm looking at it, I don't think this is going to recover. Pride comes before the fall, right? And apparently the fall is here for this movement. And how they get this back again, I don't think it's going to take place, at least not for decades. The entertainment companies are feeling it. And that's why they're pulling out, folks. Don't let them trick you, because the lowest resolution way of explaining this away is, darn it, the orange man is oppressing us. That's not the case. This is the public at large saying, no way, Jose, we're done with this one. Hi ho, it's back to Super Chats. We go, Jonas. What do we got out there?
Let's do it. Lazy Titan, member for 8, looking sharp pro. When is Jonas going on camera? Thank you for the super chat. Eclipse Warlord for $5. Still going to see Masters of the Universe, though may wait for week 2 Tuesday. Really looking forward to Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War in theaters on June 25th.
Oh, wait a minute, Jonas.
What?
You didn't. We had a super chat before this.
Yeah, they said you were looking sharp, and I thought that's cool. But it is Pride Month. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'm just going to move along.
Jonas, hang on, buddy, pal.
Yeah.
Looking down there at you, okay?
Yeah.
Jonas, we gonna do the camera thing or not?
Not today. Eclipse the Lord, though. Bleach 1,000-Year Blood. Is that a sequel to 1,000-Year Door? Jess Hart's Theme Park says, hey, everybody. Hey, Jess.
Hi there. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Just a Dutchie for €6. I like Jonas's back song better. It's more cheerful.
Had to bring him back. Jonas is back. Hey, I tell you what, I like the Just a Dutchie clip, too. You know that, Jonas? You remember that one?
I do.
We're playing in the green grass. Oh, tell me, how do we make it last? Under the sun, the blue stretches.
Jonas, do you feel safe in your studio right now?
Actually, I watched some Backrooms lore videos, and so not exactly.
I just want you to know, Jonas, so long as you're not on camera, the chances of a deer taking you out at a crosswalk are slim, but never zero. The chances of you being taken out, Jonas, in your studio by a stray deer, very low, but not zero. Jonas, I want you to watch this and just know, if your camera was on and this happened to you, we would actually have content. Take a look, folks. People are gently walking by, having a good time. Nobody's worried. Kid with their guy with a stroller. Everybody's having a good time. Oh, wait! Flying deer! Boom!
Oh!
Jonas, imagine right now, as you feel so secure, so comfy and cozy in your studio, what if that were to happen to you right now?
I think I'd be probably nursing a pretty good headache.
What if we had no evidence that the deer slammed in? Boom! Sorry, folks, I had to do it in the replay. Jonas, what if that happened and we had no evidence?
What if I was driving down the interstate and my car slid out? Nobody would know.
Boom! There goes the deer again.
So Lorne Culture and I almost died on the interstate just the other day because a deer jumped out in front of my car, and thankfully the Tesla full self-driving responded faster than I would have responded, and Elon Musk saved my life.
Wow. Well, also, thankfully,
less important,
what a
also
guy.
saved culture also saved culture and Lorne.
And you distracted the coyote that was chasing the deer to the point that the deer probably got away. So great strategy by the deer.
Chased a deer onto the interstate. It was insane.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jonas. I just wanted to remind you why you need to be on camera. Of the many reasons, that might be the most important. If a stray deer were to slam through your window in your studio, the camera would tell the tale.
And I could make a little extra cash on it. Archer Merchant.
I rest my case.
Speaking of crashes, Marvel crash already here. Why RDJ was upset. So I listened to that interview where he's talking about influencers, and he kind of covered himself. He talked about some of them. You could tell they're good, and then there's people who are just worthless opinions. They're just on screen, which there's probably somebody who hates us out there that's like, see, that's why we hate you. Keelioth for 5. I have pride in LG, the company that makes the TVs. Cool.
I think, yeah, I was saying.
The rest of the alphabet, not so much. My friends all feel their... Oh, sorry, I was off on this one. My friends all feel their push for understanding has been seized by political bad actors.
Well,
the plus was the problem.
The plus is the problem.
There's been a lot of people out there who have been pushing for an LGB movement.
Yeah.
I mean, the other letters too, but the plus. I mean, the plus is basically... That says it all. It's now a political movement. Who wants in? The plus will get you in.
Right. It's
Except S. S isn't allowed.
I don't know what that one is. I shouldn't ask right now. Scott.
It's straight.
Oh, that one. Sorry.
Oh, I thought it was sex.
Scott Shermer for 10. I came out in 94. Pride served a purpose when there was a stigma against being gay, but stigma is gone. It's just for attention now, and most LGBT people just want to blend in, not stand out.
Well, that's one of the things also is just like, well, like it was always a fight for equal rights. Once marriage equality was passed, it's over. You win. Well done.
Right.
Like take your victory lap, but like you're not. They're always like our rights are under attack. I'm like, from who? What rights?
Well, so that's a play though, because again, the plus means somebody somewhere doesn't have the right to do something that they want to do. Right? We leave it as ambiguous as we can, and then whoever wants in gets to use the plus as a shield. Because then whatever it is, like they could be into, I don't know, gerbils. They're into gerbils, and suddenly they're like, I don't have the right to marry my pet gerbil. Why? I don't know, but don't mess with me because I'm LGBTQIA plus minus sign, negative sign. Like they get away with. So anyway, it's a horrible thing, the plus sign, and it's on purpose. It's a political strategy.
Do you remember how Kara got let go from Unlimited?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, because when that happened, I'm very nosy about certain things, and so I looked into the individual that was the orchestrator behind her getting removed from that company. And I found out that not only were they using Rainbow Squad as a shield, but they were also into some other things like masquerading as a furry, right?
Yep. They were the gerbil.
Yes, they were. But the thing that I thought was funny is that they were so weird and unhinged that all the groups were like, no, you can't stay. Right? Like it kicked out of all of the accepting groups. And I was like, that's wild. That's wild.
Tinker at that point. It's just this blaring red arrow. It's like, say, this one right here is the problem. So let's see what else we got here. Bad News Badger at 450 Danish crowns. Who cares about Pride Month? June is men's multi-level
mental
health month. Yeah.
I remember last year, I think it was one of the, was it Halo or some Xbox account had put over June as Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and the Rainbow people lost their minds. Flash, do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
It was insane.
Hey, by the way, I think I think Flash has got to get out of here. Flash, before you go though, there are so few who don't know you and your channel, but for the few who remain, could you let them know where you are, what you do, and why they should have been subscribed 5 years ago?
Yeah, check me out over at Yellow Flash 2. I'm also over on Rumble under the same name. Talk about pop culture and cultural topics, whatever I kind of feel like going on about that day. So, yeah, check me out.
Flash, There's only one way I know to outro you. You're going to be carried away by the shills.
At least that's what I hear.
Wait, what?
Let's go!
Jabba, right?
Oh no!
It's a Sarlacc!
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
Guys, this is one of, if not my most anticipated game of the year. Anything that's got me going pew, 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 sign me up.
I gotta say, the concept of this is enough for me to go, I might even pre-order this.
I just want to say that was cruel and unusual. Thank you for sniffing just like her, Marv. That was cruel and unusual. I wish Flash well. I can't believe he was chased away by the shills.
He left before I even got to tell him I got Golden Patriot the other day. Oh, well.
Everybody should. Everybody should. Hold it up, Carol. Let me get that. Let me full screen you real quick. Beautiful, beautiful. We love it. Fantastic.
You can still buy a copy on ripperson.com.
And you should today.
It's a good jingle. Archer Merchant for $2. They went for the kids. It triggered response. Yes, if the response to leave kids alone is, well, what it has been. Exactly. Archer Merchant for $5. Disney executive mental health being exposed. Look at the article for the one who thinks AI bot is his son, etc., or the HR behind Reimagine Tomorrow. Yeah, that was really bad, and that Park Place has done a pretty good job of covering it. I would say we keep getting called out for our coverage of, well, let's say the gendered and non-gendered responses in the parks.
In good ways, by the way. We get lots of positivity.
Yeah. Yep. Doge Pal for $2. Reminder: He-Man was mishandled in the past decade. Yep.
That's right. Legacy damage.
Mm-hmm. Kalioff for $5. The illness of the movement is what the focus of society needs. Lack of treatment for mental health for 50 plus years is cycling back to roost. Yeah. I would say some of the response to the anti-conversion therapy laws has been that conversion therapy is completely not okay. Not even just talk stuff. So they've been set up in a way that if somebody has a traumatic incident, say they lost their entire family, and they've lost a limb, like put them in a situation and their house burned down, and they said, you know what, I'm thinking I might be a different gender than I actually am. The psychologist is not allowed to say, well, let's work through this other stuff first. They have to say, yes, let's explore that. So yeah, that's a problem in the United States right now. Wilton's dad for $5. I'll stare down at Jonas till he makes the correct choice. Well, be prepared to blink. Sephiroth for £5. Jonas, for the Americans, it's free speech. On X in the UK and Europe, we are fouled up when it comes to privacy. Yes, that's very true.
Yeah, and we never forget, for those watching across the pond, we never, ever forget that what we say, we're saying things that you might not be able to say. And so we're saying it for you. So please remember, we're keeping that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Tennille the 10th for $2. Plot twist. Pro actually threw that deer.
You're so strong, Pro. You're so strong.
Oh, dear. Kalioff for $5. Oh, he went, do. Anyways. Kalioff for $5. Pro, all gerbil lives matter. What a furry comment.
I never understood that joke in Christmas Vacation when I was a kid. And it took a long time into my adulthood to understand that joke when Cousin Eddie tells his wife, honey, get the blankets and the gerbils. I thought, what in the world is going on here? Just didn't make any sense to me.
Is that Christmas Vacation? I don't remember that joke.
It's Christmas Vacation.
Bingo.
Remember, he says to Clark and his wife, he says, if you don't mind, the kids might want to shack up with you, but for me and the missus, it's been a long drive. And they say, oh, we've got plenty of room. And he says, honey, get the blankets and the gerbils. And she's like,
I'm going to say I think you might have a different cut of that film than I do.
I'll find it.
Tennille the 10th for $2. Caro.
Rubber sheets. You got it. Angel Hickson has got it. Haha.
Rubber sheets.
Rubber sheets and the gerbils. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. You refer to not Chris Chan, huh?
I get the joke. Yes.
Okay. Eclipse. Yeah. Warlords for $5. Bleach is a manga anime series. 1,000-Year Blood War is current anime, and 3 episodes of Core 4 are going to be in theaters. Oh, cool. Detail Devil for $5. Miss DEFCON's Thursday super chat regarding 90s Kurt Russell as Card. Also missed my old super chat YouTube glitch. Hares invaded Easter. President Carter saw their killer hare heart, fought 1-on-1. As in Kurt Russell as Talon Card?
Now wait a minute. Are these the two that came in, Jonas, after the show had ended and
let me
we had those saved?
Let me look real quick. So yeah, DEFCON Prime sent in one, and Samuel Maine sent in one, but I didn't see one from Detail Devil unless you got more than one account.
Do we have the ability to put those on the screen? Is it possible? Do you have those?
Let me work on that while I'm also
okay.
and reading
For next segment. Yep.
Yep. Detail Devil member for 5. The Furious, 9 out of 10. Dad saves kid, chock full of kung fu.
We here on the Pro Show, obviously, given the new Wiz clip, love kung fu.
Wilton's dad for $2. Haha, I don't blink, Jonas, ever. You just did though, because
dry eyes need clear eyes.
You blink when I make the right move. Archer Merchant for $2. If Starfighter / Doomsday bombs, what happens next? Josh tomorrow gets carte blanche to do whatever he wants at the Disney company, because if it's a success, he'll take credit. If it's a failure, it's a mandate that he can do whatever he wants at that company.
Yeah, if they both bomb, what happens? That would be bad. That would be very bad for Disney.
I think it'll prove my theory that once you give in to the mind virus and you drive people away, you literally just can't do anything to bring them back.
All right, and if it'll let me do it, Samuel Maine for $5. If Samuel Maine is even here, motion sickness. A major reason wait times are low. I think that might have been for Mandalorian and Grogu ride. And then Defcon Prime for 5 says, I was 12 reading Zahn trilogy. Back then, I thought 1990s Tango and Cash, Kurt Russell could have been Talon Card, but who'd play Dash Rendar? Detail Devil, are you also Defcon Prime?
If I could address the previous super chat, when Smuggler's Run opened, it had massive lines originally. So the Mando, I don't think people all of a sudden decided, no, I get motion sick. I'm not going to go to the Mandalorian and Grogu one. I think they just decided I'm not going to the Mandalorian and Grogu one.
Yeah,
could be.
It's not a great ride either.
Hey, Jonas, put that back on the screen, please, if you don't mind.
Oh,
I know. I just want to say,
Kurt Russell?
Either one. It doesn't matter. Either one. People out there don't know to the links that we will go to take care of the community, because really, without the community, we're nothing. And we recognize we have the best out there. These are super chats, Jonas. My understanding is they came in after the show had wrapped, after we were already either in the outro or they came in once the show was over. And you, Jonas, you actually screenshot them and save them so that we can put them on in a future show. Is that right?
Well, I was able to do that. I'm not always able to do that. I don't want to.
I know. It's not a standard thing, but I just want people to understand you actually took the time to do this. Can't happen all the time. Not going to happen all the time, but this is the level that you go to make sure we treat our peeps out there right. Is that correct, Jonas?
Yeah, I try my best. But then there's also the rabble rousers sometimes who intentionally send a super chat at the end, and I want to let them do their joke and play their little prank in the best way they can.
Jonas, this is for you. And even more while we're celebrating the folks out there who make the show come true. For our mods, we haven't played this in forever, but so many of you out there keeping the chat clean and the way that YouTube wants it to be seen while still protecting free speech. Thank you to our mods. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 900 plus of you joining us across YouTube right now, 300 more on the X, and I guess we're probably on Instagram, TikTok, GeoCities, ICQ, and everywhere else you might find. Somebody's watching on an Etch-a-Sketch, and somewhere, some way, somebody's probably seen what we have to say on a Dreamcast browser. I don't know why you're doing it. Let it go. It's time, okay? But folks, we got stories to hit. We're going to hit it. We're going to win it for you. It's all we know how to do. And it turns out it's come true exactly what we said. We predicted by the end of the year, YouTubers would be taking over the box office. It's happening halfway through the year. And I'm here to tell you, it's going to get bigger, it's going to get better, it's going to get brighter. And everything is on fire in Hollyweird. Well, would you look at that? The trades are saying that which we said would come to pass. Well, it has. And what are we talking about? Folks, we're talking about YouTube taking over Hollywood. YouTubers, that is. You across the fruited plains. You with all of that talent that previously would have been blocked by the gatekeeping system. No more. No more. Variety, Marlo Stern says why YouTubers are turning Hollywood upside down. Oh, they don't like this, do they? No. Behind the studio gates, the freakout has begun. This past weekend marked a tectonic shift in Hollywood that sent shockwaves across the industry. As I read this, please remember that Variety is one of the trades. The trades are not normal publications. The trades have a job. The job is to tell everybody in Hollyweird what are the talking points, what is the orthodoxy, what can you say, what should you believe. When they say this from a trade, the message is clear. When you're around the water cooler, YouTube has taken over. Backrooms, a horror film brought out of a 4chan creepypasta and produced for about $10 million, opened to an extraordinary $81 million, smashing records for distributor A24. And Obsession, a horror film made on a budget of only $750,000, grossed $26.4 million in its third weekend of release, a 10% jump from the previous weekend, and crossed $100 million domestically, knocking Star Wars into third place in its second weekend and tumbled at 70%. Oh my! Things are changing. The Wrap is covering this as well because once the trades talk about it, everybody can talk about it. Is YouTube Hollywood's next pipeline? Insiders weigh in on whether the Backrooms and Obsession box office success portends a new film movement or something else entirely. Jeremy Fuster writing that one. The Guardian is in on it. The Guardian, because again, the trade said it's okay to say this now. The Guardian says, to YouTube and beyond, how online Gen Z directors stormed Hollywood. And can I tell you, one of the things they're going to try to say is it's only Gen Z because they don't want everybody getting their hands on this. But it's not true. Anybody can do it. So can you. Record-breaking box office for Backrooms and Obsession has opened the door for 20-something YouTube creators as the industry rethinks what audiences want. The industry isn't rethinking it. The industry is being forced into this. It's being dragged, kicking and screaming by the new media. The new media has conquered, Marv. The new media takeover is here. The market mutiny has tossed aside the gatekeeping studios, and suddenly YouTube's, well, it's winning. And Marv, the way I want to approach this, if you don't mind, is sure. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the idea that maybe by next year, theaters are going to be so desperate, so happy to receive with open arms YouTubers making movies. What do you think about this, Marv?
I think we've just seen the tip of the iceberg here. I think it's going to be easier now for bigger YouTubers to get investors in films. Yep. Having seen exactly just how not just these two films, but I forget what was the other one that came out.
Markiplier's film.
Markiplier's film, yeah, did exceptionally well also. So I because these are people that are actual celebrities now. These are the ones that people actually go to. Robert Downey Jr. is not a movie star. Tony Stark is a movie star. Robert Downey Jr.'s career post-Avengers Endgame has not been great. People went to see Oppenheimer not because Robert Downey Jr. was in it, but because it was a Christopher Nolan movie. Other than that, he hasn't really done much of anything. Meanwhile, a YouTuber comes with a built-in system of advertising by being able to talk about it on their YouTube channel for free, and that's going to reach millions of people in a lot of these cases. This is a panic moment for Hollywood. That's why Robert Downey Jr. did that interview where he was talking about influencers being the new movie stars and guffawing about it. They don't want this. They are as scared of this as they are scared of AI.
Well, yeah, and AI should scare them too, because that's going to be one of the tools in the toolkit of YouTubers. Mm-hmm. So this right now it's horror because horror is the cheapest genre to make.
Right.
But what is stopping for $750,000? There is nothing stopping a YouTuber from making a Pixar level film next year. Exactly. There's nothing stopping this. And all you got to do is upgrade it to 4K from whatever you make it in originally, Marv, and suddenly everything is wide open again to anybody who wants to make entertainment.
Well, and you've also got places like you just showing Netflix. I think YouTubers are going to start landing Netflix deals now.
Yeah, why not? Why not? And we've already seen this happen, right? The total and complete industry capture of podcasting, of radio, has happened. Folks, look what we're doing right now, right? We're not owned by anybody. We're completely independent. Think about Critical Drinker. Think about Nerdrotic. Think about all of these places that have taken over the space. Joe Rogan, think about, have taken it over. Last year we called this. We told you that the new era had begun after we found out the ratings last January. Okay, so go back a year and a half. when Joe Rogan's ratings came out, we found out that Joe Rogan had more viewership for him interviewing President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance than Disney had for the presidential debates. And we said the new media has begun, and this is accelerating. Carol, you actually are in another area where this is taking place, in the comic book and in the novel industry and writing. Carol, what are you seeing happen where the legacy media is being torn asunder?
It's been kind of interesting because on the publishing side, once they kind of saw that some of the authors had a following, they tried to cash in on that, and they made a couple of questionable choices. But they were finding so part of the background stuff that goes on is that publishing houses want authors to do more and more of the outbound marketing, right? Instead of them doing it. And a lot of authors, when they try to approach a publishing house, think that the publishing house will do a lot of the marketing. And it's getting to the point where it's like, if you're not showing up with guaranteed sales, if you're not showing how you're getting yourself into interviews and all that and everything else, then they don't want to talk to you, which is really detrimental to debut authors because they don't have a sales history to report. So they don't want to work with new and rising talent unless it's somebody that knows a person, right? And YouTubers are at least able to say, like, look, I have numbers. And I have met some people on AuthorTube that get approached by publishing houses because they have, a very popular channel in author space. And what they do with that is what they do. In the movie side of things, I know a couple of channels like Epicverse. So Epic Mike, we all know Epic Mike.
Sure.
They do.
Great guy.
Yeah, they do their stuff like all the time, and they do it independent because at least then they get to make the content that they want. There's one group that I'm part of. They're called Rising Tide Media, and they make everything themselves. And they're telling stories that they want to tell, that they feel like from the heart that they want to share. But if you tried to put it in front of like somebody at a Hollywood executive, some guy would get changed into a girl. They'd have to put like, a person of color in there, like all this other stuff that they normally wouldn't have put in there. And I think what's really sad is the amount of YouTubers that are actually getting reached out to right now, because like, I don't want to dive into it, but like I've met some people who have been approached by certain forces in Hollywood, and what they're proposing right now is asking the YouTuber to do all the work, and then they can just attach their name to it, which I was like, that's very interesting. Like, and what exactly are you contributing to this project, right? But I don't get to be in those meetings, or I would ask those questions like, what are you doing for me, man? What are you doing for me?
Well, and I think now when you're going to get YouTuber produced content, you're going to get, like exactly what you said, they're not going to abide by those studio rules of like, well, what if we had a woman as the lead instead of a man? Like, no, they can actually go with their initial vision, and people will go with it because these are making money right now.
Jonas, let's talk about the economics of this because it's so fascinating. Obsession is made for less than $1 million. Let's say it's going to make how much? 100, 200, what? It doesn't matter. Okay. Let's just, whatever it is, we're talking about 100x investment. Okay. Jonas, if we talk about, can a YouTuber make a Pixar film next year using AI and then upscale it to 8K or whatever? It seems like they probably can with the technology. You're talking about, they're going to do that for $1 million. And the traditional cost for these things is $100 to $200 million plus marketing. So it's untenable now. Like, it's not just that YouTube is going to compete. It's not just that YouTubers are going to compete. Independent media is going to compete. It's that it is so dramatically more efficient for YouTubers to get in this space than the studios that they will eradicate the studios in 2 to 4 years. They will completely transform the industry, Jonas.
So let's talk about what's gone on with the movies that have been surprise hits. Obviously I've been talking about Backrooms, generally not the kind of movie that I would go see in theaters, but I did get the chance to go see that. And there's a deep lore behind it, and that did well. I don't actually know anything about Obsession other than the fact that it is made by a person who comes from YouTube. Obviously, Iron Lung, Markiplier's Iron Lung was punching way above its weight. I've also heard that the film itself, not necessarily of the highest quality, but also it's a passion project from someone that everyone is aware of. If you look at the Minecraft movie, you could very much say that is a movie that is steeped in internet culture. That is a movie that heavily relies on memes. And maybe,
Jonas, that's just culture. Maybe we don't even put internet on it anymore. Maybe that's You know, that Venn diagram is so, there's so much
Right.
overlap now,
You
culture
see-
versus internet culture. I can't tell the difference.
Right. Well, they don't talk about Minecraft on television. Is I suppose the way I would phrase that. And then, of course, you have Five Nights at Freddy's, which is not a YouTube thing, except that it is very much something that found its footing and its cultural relevance in theorizing on, game theory. We'll just give game theory the win on that one. So I know that movie, again, not necessarily a huge hit, but it's also something that punched above its weight there. So to me, I think this is, if they can get out of the horror genre here, that would be great, even though that is one where you can put a lot on screen for not a lot of money. I think Coco Melon is probably going to make its money back on the movie that they'll be making soon, except for the fact that it doesn't, the concepts that I've seen from that don't look like Coco Melon. I think this is, in some ways, it is like a life raft to a system that has been over reliant on intellectual property from the 80s. Like, it's this cultural stagnation that they've been sitting in over and over and over again. Well, we got Alien, we got Predator, we got Alien versus Predator. Oh, well, we have Alien versus Predator 2. We have Star Wars, we have all the Marvel stuff folding in on its stuff. All of these things that came in from the 1960s, sure, it had a resurgence in the 90s, and there was a few stories after that, but it's all, even the Ultimate Universe at Marvel is retelling of the previous stories. So what does it look like that Disney is doing right now? They're going back to Darth Vader, who first appeared in cinema in 1977. So I look at this, and it's this great hope of new and original IP that can at least for now, it can be something for Hollywood to focus on, because they're very much wanting permission to hire YouTubers to do this. This is the thing that we learned when we talked to Paul Chatto and other executives. No one wants to be the risk taker in Hollywood. A24 has that option with the things that they're doing. Jason Blum has that option with the things that he's doing, because it's his name on the door. Bigger executives, if they say, oh, well, we hired the famous person from this to do the IP from that, no one's going to fire them for making what seems like copying a previous successful step. Now YouTubers, they have permission to use YouTubers after the success of Obsession and the success of Backrooms and whatever you want to call the success of Minecraft.
And Iron Lung.
They now have and Iron Lung. So I think the most disappointing thing for the studios is probably going to be that they didn't have more of a take from what Markiplier did there.
Well, here's the other thing too, Jonas. They don't have a choice, because right now they're distributors. How long until YouTubers would just bypass them completely anyway and say, I'm just going to theaters. I'm going to make a deal with AMC. You can distribute if you want to, but if you don't, I'm bypassing you. And so I don't think they had a choice. I think they had to do it when they did it. I think they had to pull the trigger now and be like, we love YouTubers. They're great.
It was very funny to see the studio line, or the distributor line on Markiplier's movie was Markiplier.
Right. So you better do it now, because it's about to be leapfrogged. All right, folks. YouTube is conquering new media, taking over legacy media on their back foot and falling fast. Star Wars, Marvel, He-Man, the rest, all saying, boy, we'd like to be the best, but we're not YouTubers. It's a very ugly story, ladies and gentlemen, and one that I don't think anybody is going to cover, but we will. Why? Because something has gone awry with Disney, and especially Disney adults. This now making it on New York Post by Jared Downing. Rabid Disney adults harass and dox a widow, 61, over her Magic Kingdom social media videos. I don't know why they're picking on this particular lady, but they are, and it's crazy. It says, crazed Disney adults have doxed, stalked, and sent handwritten hate mail to a 61-year-old widow over her Disney World fan pages, according to the amusement park influencer. The enraged Disney buffs have hounded Kathleen Cazzola for reportedly making cash by filming cast members for her roughly 300,000 followers on social media. And what that means is that she's live streaming from the parks, and she's making money doing so, as do so many others. I'm not sure what in the world she's doing, that is causing them to be this awful towards her, but we're going to call it out. It says park fans have alerted both cops and Disney demanding she be banned. Blank you, get a job and get a life, one handwritten note sent to her home reads. It goes on to say, it's ruined my life, she told the Post. She launched her social media accounts under the handle Magic Park Memories as a hobby after being fired from her job 4 years ago. But in the last 6 months, Cazzola has become a notorious villain for park-obsessed netizens who accuse her of exploiting performers for personal gain. And how? It looks like she just records cast members like doing their jobs, as in, if they're doing the Lion King show, she streams it. It's crazy. It says a YouTube series video by Louis B. claims Cazzola hogs the best seats in front of a piano stage at Magic Kingdom, begs for tips from her followers, aka Super Chats, and has doxed one piano player by posting his performance schedule.
How did that dox it?
Not doxing. Quote, the staff are keeping tabs on her and watching her at all times because she is a safety risk. Speculated one poster to the that's Reddit, subreddit Theme Park Swindlers Reddit page after Cazzola posted a selfie of her and a performer. Users have posted photos of Kathleen sightings when they see her at the parks. Here's an example of one of the messages sent to her handwritten. Kathleen, you are truly delusional. Stop harassing people at the park. You're obnoxious, disgusting, fake. You realize everyone knows you're a total joke, right? Leave the people, blah, 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 blah.
I love analyzing this handwriting. It's so childish. Look at it.
Yes. I've looked into this, folks. And yes, over at the subreddit Theme Park Swindlers, they are cruel. These anonymous trolls are cruel, and they treat this woman with just total cruelty. And I don't know if it's because she's a small channel that they're picking on her. Less than 4,000 subscribers on her YouTube, okay? She's got 24,000 followers on Instagram. But this is enough. This crazy little group of trolls on subreddit has managed to be so obnoxious, so mean, and treat this widow with such utter disgust that they're so disgusting they've made their place to the New York Post. The New York Post actually covering these people. And frankly, I think that Disney adults now, whatever that means, the pixie dusters, the cupcakers, they need to come out, and the big theme park people, okay? We'll do our part here. But the big theme park people out there, they need to say, unless there's something I don't know, and I don't think there is. I've looked into this. We've done our research. But those people who do the big vlogging and blogging who get, hundreds of thousands or even millions of views per month, you all need to condemn this. You all need to come out and say this is totally unacceptable, because we don't need a situation where, widows in their 60s are being picked upon by crazy anonymous Redditors and treated like this, treated like slime. It's too much. Guys, what do you say about this? It's just ridiculous. I'd never heard of anything like this until I saw the story out of the New York Post.
I'm really confused because I'm like, it's because it sounds like she's just vlogging. So what's the difference between her and the 10,000 other people that do this on a daily basis? Is there something that we are not seeing? Is she like filming cast members in a way that somehow is predatory on them? I don't understand this at all. Like I really don't understand what it is that they're doing, or why they're doing it. Like why this particular woman, why this particular cause? Like they're saying, oh, she's begging for tips. I'm like, that's super chatting. She's literally no different from everyone else who streams in the theme parks. We've all done it. We did it at Dollywood. I mean, So
I'll tell you what's going on, Marv. I think that this subreddit has chosen her to be their meme, and they are just mob mentality, mocking her into oblivion. And then the other thing is, if we go and we read from the subreddit, which I'm not going to do live on air, but if we were to read from it, they are, and I'm not making this claim, but they're mocking her for her intellect or lack thereof. And they're just merciless. If she does an interview for anything, if an article covers her and asks her questions, they mock every response she gives. They mock her grammar. She has been selected by this group of anonymous Reddit trolls, and they are just going to try to destroy her every day. And I think it's disgusting. And I think, I think the whole Disney blogger community should come together and say, no. No, this is not okay.
Disney adult social media is
Oh.
one of the most wretched hives of scum and villainy you could ever hope to come across. They really are vicious. And like their Facebook groups and Twitter and just, I mean, they can really, really be mean. And so if this woman's not actually doing anything against the rules, if she's not actually being...
Well, she was. She'd be
exploitative
kicked out of the
these people-
parks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like she's just doing what, like, you know, Tim Tracker would do, or
Right.
or you know, even like Park Hop and stuff, or G&G. We've gone into Universal and streamed, and people are super chatting and stuff like that. It doesn't bother anybody.
Yep. Carol, it's crazy how mean the Disney fan base, the theme park base can be. There's a group out there that they're just viciously mean. And they will, the problem here too is like, this lady's got 4,000 followers on YouTube. She can't defend when they attempt to dox her. She can't defend, and she's got to live in worry every day that these crazies are going to send somebody to her house or something. It's too much, Carol. What do you think about the internet hate culture that seems to have taken over parts of the Disney fandom even?
I think, you know, just listening and with what information I was able to gather, I think what happened is one of the things I think we can all attest to that happens when we stream is that there's a distorted idea of the interpersonal relationship we have, right? With the chat and the chat with us. So, you know, for example, there's been plenty of times when somebody has come up and talked to me and I have no idea who they are because I don't see their face, but you know, they have to tell me who their username is and all of that. And I have seen cases where people get upset because they think they have a relationship with somebody that they see on the screen. And when they get rejected, that's the best way I can say it, they take it very personal. So my hypothesis in this situation that you're describing is I think somebody thought they had a relationship with this influencer because they're an influencer too. And they got rejected. And so they retaliated. I've seen this a few times with different streamers where the person wants a response, they don't get the response. And so their countermeasure is to create hate. And I'm sure, you know, Kathleen didn't even know, right? She was probably like having a boundary with somebody that was trying to push a relationship that she didn't want. And now we've yielded that. Again, pure hypothesis, alleged. It's just my
But it happens
speculation.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel for her because, I mean, she just wants to share a fun memory and a fun experience with people who probably can't go. I mean, think about kids who are in the hospital that can't leave the bed and they're probably never going to go to Disneyland. And she's recording some of the performances for them to watch from the bed. You know, situations like that.
I mean, look at this, Carol, real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you, but just to magnify your point. And I'm not doing this to be mean in any way. She recorded Carousel of Progress and she got 43 views. She went to the Flower and Garden Festival. She got 53 views.
Yeah.
Okay. The last ride of the Liberty Bell, 124 views. Yet there is a group out there, Carol, being so mean to her that it actually made the New York Post. Like, this is bonkers, but it speaks to the depravity.
Inappropriate level of attention for a small influencer. Forgive me, I'm going to say that's a small influencer.
Yeah.
You know, she seems like she's having a good time based off of the comments. I haven't watched her content. I'm going to say this. I've you know, in a previous life, I worked with a YouTuber who had an outsized level of influence, like in the 10 million subscriber range, like a big channel. And there was a subreddit dedicated to hating on this these people that ran this channel. And it was a funny thing. I subscribed because I was curious before the whole thing went private, because they realized there were spies among us that were checking on what they were doing. And the number of things that were misrepresented, like they were talking about how a family was being split up, and like this fan fiction that these people had made up in their minds. Like when someone decides that someone is absolutely the villain, and then you get in a group where the social clout within that group is hating on each other, hating on this particular person. It creates a small little internet version of a cult. And that is one of the most toxic things that the internet does. Now, what we're doing here is we talk about the Disney company or a larger a larger organization, and we're going after a company that has, hundreds of billions of dollars of influence. So we have so many things that we can cover when it comes to the Disney company. And if Bob Iger wants to get out here and be like, okay, we see that somehow Taylor Swift ends up in Toy Story 5, and you have to post an Instagram picture of you and Taylor Swift and talk about how it was basically your fault that Taylor Swift is in this movie. Like, we're going to rag on him a little bit for that. But this is a person who is just going to the parks, having a good time, hoping to maybe have a little social media success. I'd say leave her alone. Let her have her fun. She's really not hurting anybody. Maybe she's getting on your nerves a little bit. You know what you can do? You can walk somewhere else in the park. There are plenty of people who aren't getting paid for it that are annoying at the parks.
I have seen influencers that actually disrupt things at Disney. I have seen outsized influencers with massive followings who literally stop the flow of traffic for attractions to get their perfect shot. That to me is a lot worse than like anything this lady could possibly be doing. They are actually impacting the lives of everyday guests, and Disney allows it because they have an outsized, an oversized audience. This woman, I'm just perusing through her Instagram and her YouTube channel. There's like not even comments. Like, I don't understand what this woman could have done. It sounds like she maybe just ticked off one person, because typically these Disney fan communities, they've got like a ringleader in a lot of them, as weird as that sounds. It's almost as weird as the Disney Gangs video that we did on That Park Place recently. And that, ringleader can sick people on specific people. So I hope that's not what's happening here, honestly.
I think it's dogpiling for the sake of just humor and fun. I think they've completely dehumanized this lady, and I think they'll do it to others. And the problem is that when you're small or just getting started, you don't have the resources to defend yourself in the way that you need to, because this will rise to the level of actually being a security risk. People can say, "Oh, well, it's just fun. Oh, it's just we're just having a good time. We're just making fun of her lisp or whatever, right? We're just making fun of she can't write as well as other people." It's like, yeah. When you turn a whole group of a subreddit on somebody, problem is what's the percentage of people in that 1,000 that have a real proclivity for violence or a mental disturbance, or you get the idea.
Yeah,
and so that's why we're calling this out. It's totally inappropriate.
I mean, we've had situations like that happen on my end where it's like I hate saying that we have to watch people because we have to be proactive, but there's plenty of times where somebody makes a suggestion. Like one person literally said, we were going to have a social outing. They're like, well, somebody should just go up and hit Eric. Right. And we had to record it. We had to send it to the police. We had to do everything because somebody who thinks that's just like, oh, it's just a joke. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Like the internet doesn't work that way. There's somebody who will do it. And, sure enough, in one event, we had somebody that did come with the intent to cause a scene. We'll say it that way.
Right.
And luckily, because we were proactive, we were able to prevent it. But naturally, the thing that was really frustrating for me is that it doesn't really matter how proactive we are to try and protect ourselves. It just takes one judge to look at a thing and dismiss it. And because that's what happened to us. We had a mountain of evidence about somebody who was threatening us, stalking us, doxing us, causing disruptions, everything, right? And a judge took one look at it and said, this just looks like some silly internet drama, dismissed. And it was like, no. And it makes it so hard for us to protect ourselves. And then they wonder why we get kind of like twitchy when we're in social situations. I mean, look at some of the stuff that's happened at like the Twitch seminars that happen, right? Like people that just go and assault other people, and nobody really cares until like the aftermath of a lawsuit is pending.
Yeah, the other problem is these judges who think this is just internet drama. They don't realize, we've just been talking about YouTubers taking over Hollywood. YouTube's not a small thing anymore. And some of the organizations that are on YouTube are bigger than the legacy media, at least in terms of outreach and support, even if the institutional money might not be there. So folks, bottom line, take this segment and please remember, be kind. All right. When you see somebody out there who's on the internet, there's somebody who's real, but beyond the internet. So it's not okay to wipe out a lady. It's not okay to dogpile a lady. It's not okay, whoever it is, to make fun of them just mercilessly. Remember, There's a real human soul behind that. And be kind. And for the trolls out there who get caught up in this, you gotta decide, is this the kind of person that I want to be? Because every single night, you're the only person for the rest of your life who's going to go to bed with you. You will lay there and you will have to reconcile with who you are and what you've done for the rest of your life. So be kind. That's the kind of person you might want to be when you're left alone with your thoughts late at night and in the mornings. And just like that, he appears like a specter. Well, he's at least an expectation from this crowd. They love him. They want him. They say, "Pro, we're not going unless we get Culture today." Culture, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. They let anybody in over here. I don't know.
No, sir, not anybody at all. You're the man, the myth, the legend. Jonas J. Campbell has got to make a run, though. It has nothing to do with you, Culture, but Jonas has got to go. Jonas, we don't have a song called Jonas is Gone, but maybe one day. Jonas, what do you got going on?
Well, maybe we should do a song called Jonas Has to Go, or Jonas Has Got to Go, because
you'd be shaking like, gotta go.
All I'm going to say is one cure for being alone with your thoughts is Audible, who has sponsored this episode. Please use code audible.com/Culture Casino Purple Potatoes and maybe get one of those Harry Potter audiobooks. That was a complete joke and fabrication. Please don't sue us, Amazon.
I was really excited until I found out it was true.
Purple Potatoes might be a good handle.
Audible.com/Arnold Palmer Thief.
You're not going to let that go, are you?
I got to run. I think.
All right, later, Jonas.
Bye, Jonas.
Take care, buddy. All right, we're back to 4 again, and look at Culture over there. Culture, you look dapper, buddy.
Well, thank you. So do you. I really have to tell you that in real life, you look just like you do on camera right now. And in fact,
Thank you. I think
you're fit.
Thank you.
You're a fit fella.
Hey, Culture. I'm noticing too the beard is starting to grow in from where it was shaved.
I'm gonna remove it. I got lazy. I'm
Why would
gonna
you
get
remove
rid
it?
of
I thought you were going to grow it back.
I will, but it's too hot right now. I'll wait till winter.
Oh, it's a winter beard, like a winter lamb.
I'll look like Santa by Christmas. It'll be fun.
Lamb.
Marv, what is your deal with winter lambs? That poor little winter lamb in that movie.
Yeah, look, there's a reason why they don't talk to the winter lamb. I'm just saying.
Boy, I tell you.
It's like Cranky Marvin today. We need a Cranky Marvin club.
Did Jonas seriously leave and we have 23 super chats to go through?
He did, yeah.
Jonas, what are you doing to us, buddy? Oh, my gosh. All right, well, folks, you have something to say, and we want to hear it, so let's go through it right now with the super chats. DL Racer, member for 5 months. I love Kung Fu more. My creative partner for Snouts is the last surviving cast member from the original TV show.
Oh, wow.
Grasshopper, Radamace, Para. Did I get that right, guys? Is that how we say it? You guys would love him. He would be a great guest panelist. Well, might have to work on that. We've got the first Dragon Queen for 2. I achieved my goal. Is Jonas fighting with a troll? Always.
Yeah.
Kelly off for 2. What about the Korean cheerleaders? Well, you never know. Wow, Bill Thompson when he shows. So do the pom-poms. Bad News Badger for 50 crowns. I can neither confirm nor deny sending in gifted memberships during outro on purpose. Well played. We've also got Detail Devil Art 2 Sec 4 for 199. Power to the Niners. My April SC after stream end. My April super chat after stream ended. Carter versus Rabbit equals true. How do you do? Z the Zombie, member for 11 months. That's almost a year. Thank you so much. Supergirl reminds me of a kid from The Road Warrior. Yeah, she looks like she's 12, 13, 14 in the movie. I don't think it's going to go well. I think, by the way, and boy, we can't say much about this, so we got to be careful. I think James Gunn signed her to another movie against the wishes of some. Marv's giving me the look like, shut up, bro. Shut up. Archer for 2. What do you mean they don't want more rainbows? Even Skittles are like chemicals you shouldn't eat now, we're finding out.
Oh, so bad.
Hey, hang on a second. What?
So bad.
Hang on, Jonas's. We lost the Skittles sponsorship?
Oh.
How was it? Oh, crap. Forgot about that. Yeah,
Thanks,
it's gonna be a
Wedge.
problem. Is crap a poopy word? That's not a swear jar word, is it?
I think it is.
Oh, boy. DL Racer for 20. Once someone creates something magical, something so uplifting and inspirational that people physically celebrate inside movie theaters, and not the stupid chicken jockey stuff, I mean something extraordinarily positive.
That was Michael.
Well, yeah, but earlier in the year we had a sci-fi film that did the same thing, right? Project Hail Mary.
I mean, but the moment in Michael when he at the very end when he performs bad,
right?
That is what a moment that is, and people were literally dancing in some theaters.
Yeah.
I still don't know how they're going to do the sequel. You know, I love the movie Michael. It does not stray away from the fact that Michael was a very damaged person, Michael Jackson. It doesn't stray away from the pathologies of the family. All that's going to come to roost in the sequel, and I don't know how they do that.
If they do a second one, it'll be Wicked. It'll be like Wicked for Good.
Be hard.
Because all of the big songs were in the first one, and you know, like after that, it's just going to be all downhill. And we learned in Wicked for Good, people don't want to see that, and they certainly don't go back to the movie theater multiple times for it.
Look, I want to make a change for once in my life.
Shimon. We've got Christian Corralejo out there for 5. How long before YouTube is co-opted by Hollywood and they only push their people and the YouTubers with the right opinions, like with the select influencers? Christian, that's actually what it was like around here just a few years ago. What changed is Elon bought X. So whatever you think of Elon and whatever you think of X, just know that it forced the hand of so many other platforms. And I think that if it were re-attempted here, you would see people going over to X in droves. And I think Elon is prepping a new platform opportunity. We'll see how that goes. DL Racer for 20. And that, talking about the celebration in theaters, that is Snouts. I have been possibly the most active fan of the channel since you've started, and for years I have been pitching this to you. Well, we're big supporters, DL Racer, of Snouts and what you're trying to do. I don't know that we have the ability to make that be manifested, but we're supportive of you and want you to make that come true. And if it's successful, we'll be very excited to support you and celebrate that. But I don't know that we would be the vehicle necessarily to make a movie right now. But who knows? Culture might be. Culture grows all kinds of things. Maybe movies will be Culture's next forte. What do you think, Culture?
Give me a year and change to relocate to a certain state, and I think we're going to have a nice studio complex. So I'm excited about that.
Down the road, might we be into that kind of original content creation?
Yeah.
Maybe, but right now, that's not somewhere we've dipped our toes just yet. We will have an announcement, folks, tomorrow night and Thursday on the Pro Channel about the first big thing we're doing. It's not movies. It's something else. But we'll have the first big announcement and also where you can meet and greet us. We're doing live events, and we'll tell you where you can find us this summer. Be there on the Pro Show tomorrow night and on Thursday. Patrick Getaway for 5. Is this the Disney Park gang you guys were talking about? Marv, is it one and the same?
No, that was Disneyland, and it was less vindictive and more just sad.
Very. Even worse than Greasers, eh? Patrick Getaway has gifted 5 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate you. God dang it, you're the best around.
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro channel, thank you.
We love you almost like we love propane. We've got Bad News Badger for 20. Just went and subscribed to her. Me too. That's kind of the hope I have here. I mean, Marv, you looked. There's nothing. I looked. There's nothing.
Yeah, she does not. Even on on Instagram, she's got like 24,000 followers, I think. And then on YouTube, like you said, her videos are getting 48, 50 views. I really
She's
don't
just
understand.
a person that some subreddit has turned into a bullying meme. And, you know, there's a limit, folks.
I like the visual idea of like, you know, the internet came to attack her and then the other side of the internet was like, no, we're not going to play that. And we like make a wall between her and them.
Wouldn't that be wonderful if that's what our viewers out there do? In fact, I'll put her YouTube up there one more time, folks, so. I can't fully endorse because we're careful about this. And you never know. Maybe there's something we don't know, but I think it's great. You know what? In fact, here you go. Subscribed.
We want you on that wall. We need you on that wall.
There you go. Patrick 5, Reddit can be an absolute hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah.
We've got Clark out there. Clark, no, not Clark. Clank Clank. Clark, I'm a Tark. Clank, I'm a tank for 5. Are the Disney adults developing the strategies to attack channels by bullying a small channel? I don't think so in this case. I think this is just a bunch of probably young people and, miscreants, people with issues who have nothing better to do than to torment somebody.
So I always say, like, if you went on a Disney Facebook fan group and you put like, well, I'm staying at the Polynesian on my next trip, somebody will be like, how dare you rub your wealth in all of our faces? And then if you post, I'm staying at All Star Sports, somebody will be like, oh, why even bother if you're not going to spring for a deluxe resort? Like, that's what you're dealing with that kind of, that's why so many people have just cut it out of their lives completely.
And this is also why we have to be really careful too, with Pro Channel and our guests. We can't say we'll be at this park at this time or blah, blah, blah. We run into problems where even if there's security, you can have, 1 in 10,000. It's the 1 in 10,000 person who decides to show up and make a big fuss, and suddenly the parks don't want you back there again and all that kind of thing.
I was afraid for my cinnamon bread and Lorne's chicken.
Lorne got his chicken.
He did.
And you got your bread.
Lorne got a lot of chicken.
He got a lot of chicken.
In many varieties of the chicken. David Maddox
for so happy.
Oh, he was.
I bought 4 loaves of that cinnamon bread because I bought one for Lorne because he wasn't going to buy it, and I was like, you have to have it. I had one for me at the park, and then I brought 2 home for my wife.
I still say it's French toast. It's a loaf of French toast.
You were uncultured, Pro. I was expecting so much more.
It's not eggy at all.
Yeah.
It's okay, Pro. I'll take your son.
Come on, Wizard. You need to ride the eagle. Come on. No, Papa, don't hit me anymore.
By the way, you guys were hysterically funny.
Wasn't that culture was there when we were doing that, and the families were all turning. It was so fun.
Funny.
David Maddox for 49, just doing my part. We appreciate it, folks. We could not do this without you. If you parted ways, we would go away. Patrick, anyway, for 5, stuff like this is how you eventually get folks like obnoxious kick streamers. Ew. Kick streamers. Shoo. All right, let's take a look and see what we got over here in the Super Chat Goalometer. 7 away from the goal. If we get that, we're going to give away some gifted memberships. And later today, folks, we plan to release version 1 of Real Life Fake Whiz Fighting. So if you'd like to see the full clip and have it at your disposal, that is next on the list of things to come out. So get ready. We'll have it for you. And without a doubt, next week, the updated one. I can't tell you how many times I prompted the beginning of that to get him to look dumber and dumber. We really worked on having the Wiz thumbnail for him to go. It's his look. He does it in the thumbnails. Wiz is a brilliant man. I mean, he's brilliant. He's a genius. But to get that first start, we prompted and prompted again. All right, blew all the tokens on it. Let's get started, folks. We got, wait. One more. Michael for 2. Did Lorne meet the Dollywood chicken lady?
There's a Dollywood chicken lady?
I heard that she fled the scene upon seeing Lorne's arrival.
Yeah, they got her to safety.
She said she just didn't have enough chicken. She wasn't prepared. Neither were we. Things are crashing all over Hollywood, and one of those things is Wicked 3, or any spinoff for Wicked. Do you all remember what they were saying just so few months ago? November 21st of 2025, just as after the movie had released, Wicked 3, a new Oz movie, is being worked on following For Good's release. Wicked is the 2003 stage musical. Everybody knows that. What do we know about Wicked 3? Speaking with the Inkler, Schwartz revealed that he and Holtzman are already working on another project set in Oz. Quote, what I will tell you without giving away too much is that Winnie Holtzman and I are doing some work right now on ideas that aren't a sequel to Wicked, but because I think Glinda and Elphaba's story feels complete, but there are other aspects that could be explored. Went on to talk about all the things that could be done, and people were demanding it. You got to give us Wicked 3. You got to give us a spinoff. We got to see a prequel. Tell us what happened. Well, guess what? That's all gone. Just a few months later now, from thatparkplace.com by Cham Lee, Cynthia Erivo shuts down Wicked 3 talks. I mean, to tell you, I don't think Cynthia is the one shutting it down. Let's talk about it. Cynthia Erivo has responded to ongoing speculation about a possible Wicked 3. The actor recently made it clear that she wants to move beyond constant discussion surrounding the franchise. During an appearance on Variety's Know Their Lines video series, Erivo, or Erivo as some say, but they're incorrect, she declined several prompts related to the Wicked movies. Producers asked her to revisit lines and musical moments from the films, but she refused some of the requests. She explained that she'd spent the last 2 years talking about the project and wanted to focus on other work. She said that as far as a sequel, quote, it's too soon to even begin to have a conversation about it. It would take a lot to get me back to do it. It has to make sense. Now, why is she downplaying this when she and Ariana, we believe, just had such a great groovy time? Well, what if I told you the numbers reveals the case? Many had said that Wicked, both the first and second, should have been billion-dollar films because of the popularity of the franchise. And the first film, even despite the terrible marketing, still managed to make more than $700 million. But the decline was real for Wicked for Good. And when we look at the box office charting, this is what I believe has terrified Hollyweird. This was front-loaded. The people, they showed up, they came to see it, the mega fans, the super fans, and then this thing flatlined. This thing flatlined before the end of November and made no more money. In fact, the drop-offs are crazy. Only 58% at first, but then 72, 51, 43, 39, 69, 70, 51. My, oh my. By the end of this thing, it was making $5 million, $3 million, $1 million, and they had to carry it out of theaters. So Cynthia can say whatever she wants to say, but Marv, I think probably more impressive to me would be the argument that her career is kind of done. Ariana, maybe not so much, but the weirdness of these two actresses, I think, killed the franchise and ended any talk of a sequel now.
Look, she is the ultimate wackadoodle, right? I mean, she was absolutely atrocious from the moment that she was announced to be Elphaba, when she exploded at that fan who did the edit of the poster to hide her eyes a little bit and called it the wildest, most offensive thing she had ever seen. And then, you know, we got more of her attacking the fans. We got her and Ariana with their weird, you know, bony clutching at each other moments in all of the interviews, the helicopter freak out. And then she just did this interview with Variety, just the worst interview I've ever read, where she said that the reason why people reacted negatively to her on this tour was because of the horrible way that we treat black women. And I was just like, it has nothing to do with the color of your skin and everything to do with your actions, with just how weird you are. And she does not Wizard thought she had alopecia because she's talking about people reacting to her appearance. And I'm like, she chooses to look like that. She does not have alopecia. This is a choice. The nails, the bald head, it's all a choice. And it's a choice that she's almost daring you to have a problem with. And then she became the we want to get rage clicks on this, so we're doing Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. No one's going to go to it unless we make Cynthia Erivo Jesus Christ and then broadcast that loud, and then everybody will talk about it. She has become the one that they go to when they need the rage clicks, and that does not make a long-term career.
Yeah, and the other problem is that it's then conflated, right? So when people are offended by the Jesus Christ Superstar musical starring her with the nails and it really had demonic imagery, then the claim is, oh, well, you just hate black women.
Yep.
And then that actually disgusts people more, but because that tactic doesn't work at all.
So I remember when she was asked about the reaction to her playing Jesus, she was like, oh, who cares? It's a musical. It's the gayest place ever. Come, I'm going to sing my face off.
Right. Sang her career off, I would say. And
she did,
Carol,
and she almost sank Ariana with her, but thankfully I think Ariana's going to rally.
Carol, if we look at the opportunity cost, which is always a number I find interesting, people don't want to often talk about it, but if both of these films were supposed to be billion-dollar return on investments, if, you know, the first one made slightly over 700 and then the next one made slightly over 500, so that is what, a 800, we'll call it 700 so we can round down, $700 million gap between what could have been and what is because of the antics of Cynthia Erivo and then Ariana Grande playing the chameleon with her. So, Carol, it's not surprising to me that Wicked is done, that they actually wiped the franchise out.
I don't even think it needed a sequel. I'm of the mind that sometimes one movie is enough, but because Hollywood is so desperate for money, if something takes off, well, instead of just marketing that and letting it thrive on its own, they have to move into making sequels, and nobody really asked for that, except for a loud minority, we'll say it that way, who think it's great. And I know like the depiction of these two actresses as they've gone out into interviews has been particularly strange. Like I've been watching like their body language, and it feels like they're trying to like tell a story behind the story with the both of them. And it's just weird. Like all of it is. If they are best friends, I hope they stay best friends, but I think best friends don't have to keep working on this franchise anymore. They can go and do some other things.
Well,
Go away, helicopter.
Well, the thing that she wanted next was she wanted Storm. She wanted X-Men. And the last thing Marvel needs is to hitch its wagon to Gross Ferratu.
Yeah.
How did we not come up? How long has that been going?
Kevin Apollo came up with it, so I can't take credit for it. But
I'm so disappointed in us that we didn't. We got to get Kevin on the writing team. We got Gross Ferratu was sitting there for 6 months and we didn't take it. Oh man!
Look, Pro, you had the numbers up a minute ago. Yeah, it's telling the helicopter to go. It's such a weird thing.
Not the time, helicopter.
Not the time, helicopter.
It's very strange. But look, the Wicked for Good film cost them $150 million to make. They spent $100 million in global marketing just for that film alone.
Right. So this one is essentially a break even. Like nobody made money. It's just a break even.
I'm not even sure it's a break even, Pro. I mean, if you take a look at, the earnings from, here in the States, I mean, it would kind of indicate that. But international, depending upon where it was popular, they may not have pulled 50% out of those other locations. So it's when I evaluate something like this, I go, okay, well, so $250 million per film, which is essentially what they spent for each of these individually between marketing and the production costs. The first one made money. The second one, I could argue maybe it didn't make money. Maybe it made.
I'm not saying it made money. I'm saying it broke even, and I'm saying that investors always want like a minimum 8% return on investment. I mean, that's the minimum. I mean, that's okay. So here's the deal, and people don't understand this about entertainment. If you invest into making a movie, now you don't have to invest into a movie. Let's get in the weeds right now in a way that we don't typically talk about. Okay, everybody's going to come away smarter for this. You don't have to invest in a movie. All right? Hollywood doesn't have to invest in movies. Hollywood could invest all that money, the hundreds of millions of dollars, into a stock or into an ETF. They can literally invest it into the S&P 500. And they got a pretty good idea of over time what the return's going to be. So if they're going to invest in a movie, that movie has to have a return on investment that exceeds the general market return, or else there was no point in investing in the first place. So Star Wars, for example, when that loses money, that's really, really bad. But it's bad enough to not make the market return on investment, which would be if you invest in the S&P 500, probably, 7-8% per year. So you've got to exceed that to have made it worth your time to have all this stress, because a movie takes years and marketing, and you've got to hire 1,000 people and all this. And you know what it takes? You know what it takes to invest into the Spider S&P 500 ETF or whatever? Click a button.
Yeah.
Sit on it for a year.
I'm going to click a button on the public offering for Elon here soon. But,
whoa. No financial advice
we're not
being
giving any
given.
Advice. I'm just saying. But I'll say
all that to say, if it doesn't get a return on investment of at least 8%, it's a total waste of time for these people.
It's not worth it. And look, I mean, you're losing a lot of ground to inflation. We've had that conversation multiple times before. Not to mention the fact that if a film is delayed in its release, that costs money every month in the form of interest, because Hollywood's not using their money. They're using the financiers' money. And that's the other thing that's the dirty little secret here. But when we talk specifically about Wicked, and I'm glad that Marvin and others have written articles on this, the prequel was the film that was going to come out next, the Galinda thing. In fact, I believe the book is being released in September this year for that. So if they've actually drug this to the curb and, put it out with the trash, then good for them, because I think they realized that the bandwagon for this was limited to one film, and that was it.
That's it. And I'm going to say that it's not because of Wicked. I'm going to say it's because of Cynthia. And so when Cynthia says, I'm not really, they didn't take a lot to get me back, I think what she's really saying is nobody's calling me back. All right, the superstars are still out there, and we want to see what they have to say. Detail Devil for 199, Power to the Niners. Where's Jonas? Didn't read Super Chat on Nolan et al. Versus Gen Z. Jonas is really careful about all these Super Chats. I'm going to be surprised if we missed one, but if we missed one, please tell the mods, and the mods will get it to me, okay? We want the mods to send that to me. If we missed a Super Chat, we try very hard not to do that. But let us know. We're not perfect, 99.9% on the accuracy there. But let us know. We'll fix it. First Dragon Queen for 5. Did Jonas forget a super? Maybe one was missed. Did Jonas forget about Super Chat? What's Steve's shirt size? No reason.
Oh, I see Steve. Hi, Steve.
I don't keep track of Steve's clothing sizes.
Oh, boy. You're right. Steve's out there again. Here he goes again. Look at this.
Hashtag Steve was objectively wrong.
I mean, he got it closer than me, but Price is Right rules. Yeah, I'm sorry. And by the way, we love seeing our friends from Midnight's Edge After Dark out there. Tom, good to see you. This show doesn't have enough turtles. Or Toms.
Not enough turtles.
I love turtles. Let's see. We've got David Maddox out there for 499. No one on the Lord's Earth asked for Wicked 3. Those poor helicopters.
Especially because Wicked 3 wouldn't have any source material to draw from.
Well, right. neither did For Good, but okay.
Yeah, it did. It had the second act of the play.
Yeah, but I see Culture's point. They had to invent all kinds of new songs because it was
stuff.
And see, that's another thing that sunk it was. They tried to write these new songs because the second act is just so, it's so lackluster compared to the first. They knew that, but the new songs were really bad. Like not Aquafina singing the Squawk song, Mermaid level bad, but still really bad.
I couldn't even hum those songs now.
Yeah.
I don't even remember anything about them.
Let's see. We got Alan Jen for 5. No way Miss Lillian doesn't have enough chicken. She has her own place there to get it. Lauren would have been well fed. I can tell you, Lauren ate a lot of chicken.
Didn't we go to Miss Lillian's?
Oh yeah, you're right. That is the place. But
we did.
We didn't meet Miss Lillian herself.
No, but that was where Lauren had the half a chicken and more chicken. Like Lauren had a lot of chicken in that place.
Lauren had half a chicken that was fried. Then he had a half a chicken from me that was the smoked chicken. Mm-hmm. Lauren had chicken strips that day. What else did Lauren? I guess he broke his.
Sounds like he had a great time. That's what I'm hearing.
He once again had chicken at an all-you-can-eat sushi place.
Yes,
that was weird.
And before we went to the sushi place, he stopped at Chick-fil-A.
That's right.
He stopped at Chick-fil-A, and we took him to Zaxby's, which he had never been to before, and he was so happy with Zaxby's.
Yeah, it's good.
He loves Zaxby's. By the way, folks, you can see the review by Lauren when it comes to Zaxby's. Stop on by the Pro Channel, and we'll post this soon. But Lauren's review of Zaxby's, short, sweet, to the point. He loves it.
This judgment look that Marv had on his face was amazing.
Well, it's Marv essentially saying, how much chicken can you eat, man?
He's giving the review. The chicken is gone from his plate. He has consumed all of the chicken.
That is a great point. There are only fries, and no wonder he's so slim. He doesn't eat potatoes. He doesn't eat anything. It's just chicken.
The leanest protein you could possibly get.
And look, I mean, he got forced to eat something he does not enjoy. There is a story we can never tell.
Oh.
And I have to tell you, it is worthwhile to hear.
He did have some fish.
Gary Ambrosia for 4.
Gary!
Hey, Gary.
Who's the new guy in the blue hat? Boy, they'll let anyone this show. Hail Pro and friends. Gary, we got to get you back over here. We got to do a deep dive real soon.
Yeah.
We've got Long Rua, member for 4 months. I hope this means no Universal's Wicked Land. That's a great question. Is it damaged as a cinematic brand or is it damaged overall? Because I think the Broadway play is still doing fine. I think they could still do I think any theme park that did Oz and did it right would be like the Emerald City done in a theme park could be one of the coolest lands out there if you did it right.
I saw the Emerald City done in not a theme park. It was in Vegas at the MGM Grand Hotel.
Right.
I can tell you that they didn't do it right.
The Emerald City. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reminded of the South Park Spider-Man thing.
That was the only line from that you could say.
I know. It really is. Irate Specialist for 199 for the Wilton only Rings of Power watch party.
Oh, boy.
Steve, you're out there and we know it. You're seeing this. It's on you. Seabrew, member for 6 months. Hope you've forgiven Wilton for his prank. Hashtag tough out. We would like to say hashtag tough in.
Go fund yourself, Bob.
And Bad News Badger for 50 crowns. Do you think the Wicked Link Gate had any impact on overall lack of performance? Pun intended. I think just weird Cynthia.
Yeah, I
tanked the
think so,
movie.
too. I think people got very uncomfortable with it. And the other thing that I think tanked the performance of that movie was the first one was so fun and light and with songs that were iconic that you went back 2-3 times a lot of times. So a lot of fans did that. This Wicked for Good was so depressing and dark that nobody went back to see it a second time.
It suffered from a lack of gravity.
Oh boy. I guess you could say it wasn't popular.
No. Yes.
Blind for 499. Does Marvin seem jealous
Of what?
of Steve?
No, I love Steve.
Now, Wilton, on the other hand.
No, he can. Yeah, no, I can.
I love Wilton. Give Wilton wings.
No.
Wings.
Marv, go with this. It's a great idea. He can just fly and never come down.
Close to the sun.
Yep.
No.
Just keep on going. Maybe find a helicopter.
I could also. I could never be jealous of anyone who lived in Canada.
So now we're calling Wilton Icarus. Is that what we're doing? What is happening?
Well, we've always said he was ick, but us, maybe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to keep on going. The show's got to stay with the flow. And guess what? We got more stuff that you can't say no to. Why? Well, it turns out the critics hate Masters of the Universe. Does that mean it might actually be
No. Critics
good?
love. Critics love.
Oh,
Masters of the
hang
Universe.
on.
Strike that. Reverse it.
Come on back. Yeah.
It's like Marv's an editor.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
he wrote a thing, and I'm doing a video on it tomorrow. So yeah.
The critics love. Nope. Yeah, they do actually. The critics like it decently well. Is that a bad sign for Masters of the Universe? We'll talk about it right now. And look at this, folks, out of thatparkplace.com from Marvin Montanaro, the man that you want to go to for all of your info about entertainment. Masters of the Universe gets a 78% Rotten Tomatoes score from Hollywood critics. Is that actually a bad sign? Let's find out. It says the first wave of reviews for Masters of the Universe has arrived. The film is currently sitting at a respectable 78% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Under normal circumstances, that would be viewed as good news for Amazon, MGM Studios, and Mattel. The score comfortably in fresh territory suggests critics generally enjoyed what they saw. However, in today's entertainment landscape, many moviegoers have become increasingly skeptical of Hollywood critic scores, leading some fans to ask an unusual question. Is a good Rotten Tomatoes score actually not a positive sign? Masters of the Universe is at 78% right now. Marv, you were the man behind this article. Walk us through some of the latest films and how they did with the critics. Yep. And why maybe now you want a bad score on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe a splat is better.
There has never been a greater divide between the Hollywood shill access media and the average movie-going customer. Typically, movies it is very rare that those two groups are aligned. If they hate something, the audiences love it. If they love something, the audiences typically hate it. A 78% Rotten Tomatoes score from the Hollywood shill access media is essentially a death sentence for this movie. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10 with the tagline, "It was a lot funnier than I thought it would be." And I was like, oh no. Because that just means Marvel humor galore. And they released a clip of Skeletor with Evil Lyn, and it was just pure Marvel humor.
Okay, let me ask you this then, Marv, because I've seen some things from the critics that make me have hope. One of the things that the critics who don't like it are saying is that it's only for hardcore fans. And I think sometimes that's coded language for they actually respected the source material. Now, I don't know. I've not seen it yet at the time of this recording. But Marv, take this and see what you think about it. I actually think that they would have rated Mandalorian Grogu like super high, except that there was no girl boss. And the only female representation in the movie was Sigourney Weaver. And so I think the entire reason they slammed Mando came down to that.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I think that it was all like, 'cause typically when you're looking at these shill access media critics. They're constantly trying to give you the political angle on it. With this movie though, I've liked every trailer. I've enjoyed what I've seen. I want to like it, but when I saw that 78% and that 8 out of 10 from IGN, my heart just sank. I was like, oh no, this is probably gonna be bad. Look at what they've done recently. Super Mario Brothers movie, Super Mario Galaxy movie. They hated it. Audience loved it.
Yep.
Michael, they gave Michael like a 40%, and audience
They
gave it a
ravaged it.
96%.
Ravaged Michael because they wanted it to be something different. They wanted stuff in the movie that would have made almost nobody able to go see it, and the few who did, unable to stomach it.
But they gave Starfleet Academy an 88% when audiences gave it like a 40-something.
Yep.
They gave Cuties a huge score when audiences tanked it. They gave Ironheart a great score and audiences tanked it. So it is just the constant struggle between the shill access media critics and the actual customers that they are supposed to serve, because they're not serving those customers anymore, and it's very obvious. There's a huge divide between what those two like Siskel and Ebert. You used to be able to trust what they said. They were just like you. They went to the movies and you could take their thumbs up or thumbs down as a proof of quality. But man, when it comes to critics nowadays, like you have people like Grace Randolph telling you what to go watch, it's a rough time out there.
So, Culture, this is fascinating to me that now we have arrived at a place in time. And remember that Rotten Tomatoes started going through massive changes after Last Jedi, because we were told that that was Russian bots and trolls and vocal minority, and then it went under changes again to prevent people from saying bad things because of the Marvels. And now after this 9-year change of Rotten Tomatoes, Marv is suggesting, and I'm not so far off from this, we think that maybe if it gets a good review, people say, oh, must be terrible. And if it gets a bad review, people say, must be great. It's like Rotten Tomatoes has become the Jim Cramer of movie reviews.
Yeah, I think that's an astute observation. That's why I really appreciated Marv's article. It's why it's going to be a video tomorrow. I have to tell you that I trust places like Criticlist. I say this in the video that's releasing tomorrow. If you want to find out what films are good, you go to an aggregator that actually aggregates you and not professional access media people. And that's the problem. I'm sorry, if you are access media, if you're being if you're relying on the access to get to something early so that you can review it, you really are nothing more than a shill, because they're going to expect you to treat them kindly, or they're not going to let you have access to their early access anymore. And that's why, again, a lot of people feel like many of these folks, there may be a few that aren't compromised, but I can tell you right now that I'm going to trust Film Threat 1,000 times more than I'm going to trust anybody over at Rotten Tomatoes. And the other problem is they really do lock it down in a way that is uncomfortable. Like, to be a verified reviewer, you have to jump through all their hoops and you have to give them all your personal information and everything else. And that's, first of all, more anonymous people are likely to give you their true feelings than people who have to give you all that other rigmarole. And I have to tell you, I was very much looking forward to the campiness of this film. I think leaning into the ridiculous of it all was certainly the best path, and it reminded me of the things I appreciated in my childhood, and my siblings also appreciated. But this is a cultural touchstone for people of our generation, or my generation in particular, maybe Marv's as well. I know definitely Tom out in the chat and everybody else. I'm going to just say this was a cultural touchstone, just like the Turtles were. So if they screw this up, this might be everybody's last straw when it comes to this particular entity. Have they erred on the wrong side of things for a long time? Yes. Did they maybe get Jennifer Salke out early enough that this won't be ruined? Maybe. Can this restore anybody's faith in what comes out of Rotten Tomatoes? Possibly, but it all relies on people who are seeing this film early on Wednesday and Thursday, like myself, who are going to review it and tell you the truth. Marvin's going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth. Pro, I don't think you're capable of telling anything but the truth. So.
The truth as we see it, guys. We're going to go see the movie, and we're going to give you our subjective opinions. If it differs from yours, Well, that's fine. We're all allowed to have our own opinions on things. Like when your opinion on quality is entirely subjective, what is not, what is objective reality are things like numbers.
Or girl boss.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Carol, let me throw you kind of a curveball, just because I know you always can hit it out of the park. I kind of think this is proof positive that all of the attempts to manipulate the market ultimately fail in the kind of society that we have. And I think that X is the reason for it this time. Because, Carol, I think that what Elon did is he made there be a place where all the best attempts to manipulate Facebook and Rotten Tomatoes and all this kind of stuff, we can just go tell the truth on X. If everything else falls apart, and I know it's not a perfect platform, I know some people still get in trouble on X in ways they shouldn't, but it's this place that you can go and just say, here's what I think about this movie. And that meant that none of this worked because people could go search for the movie on X and bypass all of the fake reviews and all the fake, audience scores. I think it's just proof, Carol, that you can't manipulate the market long term.
I think the industry is under a false assumption that the market is dumber than it actually is. One of the things that I usually tell anybody, whether they work in TV, film, publishing, whatever, is that thanks to the internet and the ease at which we can go forth and learn things, our audiences are actually way more savvy about, pretty much anything that they decide that they want to be savvy at. Whether, even though we might shun them for looking something up on Wikipedia or something like that, the fact that they went and looked it up on Wikipedia says a lot. And we're just entering, I think the other thing that they're not aware of is that we're very keyed into how we're being manipulated, right? Because before, if we think about it, we used to watch commercials, and commercials would have a guy in a doctor suit and there'd be a graph behind him and be like, oh, he seems like he's an authority figure, we should listen to him. But now we don't trust it. We all think it's staged. And it's reaching to a point where people are wanting to, again, protect both themselves, their interests, and their time and resources. And now we're exceptionally skeptical, especially after all of this manipulation and gaslighting that the audience has gone through. Any good faith that these critics and the industry had prior is gone, because at this point, everything that they do and say is suspect, which is why we see these bipolar reviews that come from critics and fans. I've seen some folks that come out and say that people will try and bomb the movie because of something that an actress said, right? Which goes back to the whole smokescreen comment that I usually mention, where they'll sacrifice somebody on the cast to go and deflect criticism of a film in order to try and force people to watch it and spend their money when they would rather not do it. And it's a really sad tactic. And I think at some point, no, they're not going to get a clue. I was about to be like, I think they'll figure it out. I think that, no, they're not. And so it's just going to turn into, they're going to lose more money. They're going to scramble more. They're going to look more desperate, and we're not going to be any more interested than we were yesterday. So that's did I hit the curveball? Did I do okay?
Grand slam, Carol,
Okay.
grand slam.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this, I'll add this on there. I want Masters of the Universe to be good. I want it to make a lot of money. I always want these films to do good. I'm never rooting for something to fail. But in particular, I want this one to win because I feel like, fans of this franchise have been done so dirty in the last decades.
He-Man. I love He-Man. I really want to go and like it. I really, really, really do.
So
I also really want to like this movie. I really am hopeful. But they put out that scene that was just a pure Marvel humor, and everyone's like, well, Skeletor's supposed to be funny. I'm like, I don't think that's the way Skeletor was funny.
Right.
I don't remember that much about the original. It was a little before my time, but
He-Man's in a worse place than this other franchise I'll mention, but it's kind of like the Turtles, right? I would love that. Nothing would make me happier than for there to be a really good Ninja Turtle movie that harkens back to the 80s cartoons, the comics, and the live action Jim Henson animatronics. I know those are not the same. I'm not trying to suggest that. I'm just saying, if we could somehow take all of that and make it into this really cool cohesive thing, man, I would be so happy. And, same thing with He-Man right now, although it's far more damaged. I want it to be good. I'm worried. And I find it interesting that now we've come to the place where when the critics say it's good, we all go,
must be.
nope, Must
not
be trash.
You know what else I bet the critics liked? If I look it up on Rotten Tomatoes, I bet you it's got positive score. That
Oh, no.
Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe cartoon. I guarantee.
Can you look, Marv? You're
I'm
right.
looking
We
it up
can't
right now.
get it before we go. Culture. Anything we missed on this one?
They may have cast Allison Brie properly for a change. So I'm sorry. I'm going to try to find positive things. Guys, everybody accused me of always being negative, but I always try to tell you if the film's
Who accuses you of being negative?
Him?
Oh,
Marv. Whoa. Marv, you're going to have to share your screen.
Yep,
That laugh means we got to share the screen. Hang on, folks. We'll bring it up.
Wait, while he does that, I do want to agree with Real Life Fake Wizard that this film should do well, because if He-Man does really well, then we get a She-Ra.
Yeah, which I'm hoping they
All the
cast
more
Sydney-
reason for this movie to tank.
But it's ultimate girl boss, babe. Isn't that what they want to
Is
promote?
Wizard out there? Is Wizard starting to riot somehow? Where's he at? Hang on a second. Let me get this.
We need Sydney Sweeney in the She-Ra role. That's what we need.
Look at this guy out there. What are you trying? Wiz, what are you trying to start? All right, let's see what you got, Marv. Here we go, folks. 3, 2, 1.
Boom. 95%.
That's it.
I'm just gonna go. I'm going back to writing fan fiction.
That's it.
That's what I'm gonna do. Like, I can't stand this.
Segment's
95%
over.
to 52%.
Segment's over. We can't add anything to that. The Walt Disney Company is doubling down all of a sudden on the red, white, and blue. Can you believe that? Well, that's where they're at. Scott Gustin says, new Disney Celebrates America, The Pursuit of Happiness, a 2-hour ABC special airing June 29th, which will use locations like Main Street, USA, and Tomorrowland to tell stories of American innovation, achievements, traditions, and historic firsts. In this coast-to-coast event, Disney parks and attractions are the portal through which America's greatest stories, triumphs, and traditions are celebrated. You can see they've got their own little icon here. They're going to go to Space Mountain. They're going to go to Disneyland's Main Street. Very cool. Disney is talking this up. They're ramping it up. Says they got a phenomenal lineup of experience ahead of the nation's 250th anniversary. All new details revealed that for the 24-hour multi-platform broadcast led by World News Tonight anchor David Muir, featuring coverage across all 50 states beginning July 3rd through July 4th. Disney Celebrates America, The Pursuit of Happiness, a 2-hour primetime special will debut on ABC. And Disney Parks continues the celebration with offerings and community events honoring veterans and military families, as well as the debut of Soaring Across America at Disneyland on July 2nd. It's already at Walt Disney World. Now, the interesting thing here is this was approved, I'm sure, under Bob Iger, but I think Wall Street, of course, is running Disney. I've made that hypothesis. I'm sticking by it. And I find it interesting that Wall Street has decided that unlike what Bob was doing before, the way to win is to celebrate America. And so even as boys and girls, we're watching all of these country stars and musicians pull out of these concerts in D.C., Disney, run by Wall Street, is saying, nope, we are full-blown, head-first, 60 miles per hour, as fast as we can get there, going towards America. Caro, who has made this analysis, you think? Which way is the right way here? The way the celebrities are going, where they're running away from it, or the corporate decision from Disney to say, we're all in, baby. We're all in on America.
I just think it's funny because they weren't doing this before, and I know
Right.
I know 250 is a special number. Like, even like Trump is trying to get like his face on a bill and everything, which I find hilarious. But
Hold on, Carol. You know what they should do?
what should they do?
I don't want to give Trump ideas, but President Trump should start a $250 bill, and that's the one that he's on.
That's
No,
what they're
that's
doing.
what he's doing.
Oh,
That's
no, you're
literally
doing
what
that.
they're doing, bro.
That's what he's
That's
trying
awesome.
to do.
He beat me to it. Greatest denomination ever. That I can tell you.
Highest
Bar
one
none.
out there. Highest one out there, folks.
I just went out there. I said, you got to give me a 250.
Yeah. So I think with Double Bogey Bob out, I think they're trying to like appease to benefactors to like give them more money, especially since they spent like the last 5 years fighting the governor of Florida, which I found to be a complete hoot. So there's probably some other stuff that's going on in the background that we don't know about, and now they're kind of like, look, see, we support America and American values. Don't you want to come back, you little plebs, and give us your life savings? That's what
Yeah.
it reads to me.
And it's funny too, Culture. Let me go to you on this one. We just watched as they destroyed the American iconography in their parks, like just ruthlessly destroyed Rivers of America, the Steamboat, and I even think like destroying Muppet Vision is anti-American because I think that Jim Henson is one of the greatest American entertainers of all time. His magnum opus in the parks was destroyed. So I mean, they've really went after the US of A, and suddenly it's a 180 as soon as Bob Iger is gone. Double bogey Bob, as Caro invented, and I wish I had come up with it.
Me too, because I think she's right. And look, I mean, that's the problem. Disney is nothing but missed golf shots for a long, long time. And Splash Mountain, I would add to the pile of things that were representative of Americana through a period of time that maybe some people don't want to remember, but we have to remember. We should be dedicated to remembering. And
sorry, Culture. Go ahead.
That's okay. When I look at what like the scenes from 1976 and the bicentennial and my participation in it as a young fella, and at the time I was in Missouri, and everybody had flags in the front yard. Everybody was riding around with American T-shirts. Everybody was celebrating this country. The fact that celebrities are out there not celebrating this country, that are benefiting or reaping the benefits of being
They're
an
just
American.
so rich. They can't stand it. Oh, it's
Yeah.
terrible to be rich
Yeah.
in America. Oh, it's just
Yeah,
How can
and-
I possibly
go on?
Yeah, I just it's more than a little disconcerting and off-putting, and I think that's I think that's something that a lot of people are coming to grips with, and this is making them very against establishment and very against media, and Disney doesn't need more of that, so this is why they're leaning into this. They are perceived as anti-American, and because they have been for a very long time, and their storytelling and the stories that they choose to tell have borne that out over the course of the last decade. There's been a decade of destruction. We need a decade of reconstruction in this country, and we need to do it effectively.
And I'll say this too, I'm not suggesting the economy is great or where it needs to be, and I'm not trying to make any kind of, determinations about geopolitical conflicts and whether they were right or wrong or wise or any of that. But I do find it interesting, Marv, that the corporations, not the celebrities, but the corporations seem to understand that America is really popular in the economy, right? And Disney would not be doing this, I don't believe, unless there's money to be had. Because I think, again, the Wall Street fat cats are running Disney now. They seem to be believing that red, white, and blue is a lucrative thing for them to do. At the same time, they're running away from Pride Month like crazy.
Well, look at the last presidential election. Look what happened. We saw where the majority of Americans were. At least at that moment. And, Liberty Square is still very popular. The American Adventure is still incredibly popular. And Americana is synonymous with the Walt Disney Company because it was synonymous with Walt Disney. It is, that's why we have Main Street USA, because Walt loved the American dream. And by embracing the red, white, and blue, they're embracing their roots again. I'm sure there is an accounting reason for it. It's not just because somebody's feeling particularly patriotic in the company. But I mean, I think that we may actually be out of the hot water that we were into a few years ago with Stories Matter, where I was sure that Liberty Square was on the chopping block, that it was going to become Haunted Square. Or something like that.
We were at the place where if they had switched, Main Street to Mickey's Avenue, it would not have surprised me. We were at the point where they were ready to strip out anything that was. I mean, Frontierland was on the chopping block because the idea that there was ever frontier is offensive because there were Native Americans living there, and thus this was their home, not a frontier. That's the level to which the conversations were happening behind the scenes about removing everything traditional out of Disney parks.
I was just thinking that only in America could you complain about being in America, ask for free stuff, and America would give it to you.
Right. No, I'm with you, Carol. That's 100%. Culture, I'll give you the final word on this. Is this temporary? Is it permanent? And more importantly, Culture, this is being done through ABC News. We know the proclivities of ABC News. So this could blow up in Disney's face if the producers at ABC News turn this into a political statement rather than a celebration of the US of A.
Oh, I think there are going to be a lot of qualifying statements along the way in this presentation that'll immediately irritate, frustrate, and or infuriate. I'm anticipating that, and I think everybody should be. I think you should not be surprised when they couch everything in, maybe you don't appreciate the country now, but we can change it in the future, and all the other garbage that they can peddle. So can this backfire on them? I expect it to backfire on them. I expect it to become revelatory and expose them for what they have been the last decade. I don't have a positive feeling about Disney. And you know what? For the last decade, that sentiment has been true. And more especially so since 2019. The minute they decided to move along with the messaging that was being sold everybody, that Carol alluded to in an earlier conversation, I think Disney doomed itself to be trapped in a political snare that they can't escape from.
At the same time, folks, we'll give the benefit of the doubt. ABC and Disney, it's your chance. Disney Parks, let's see what you got. 250th coming at the end of June. And then celebrations, fireworks, all that. Folks, we'll cover it. It's the patriotic thing to do. And frankly, it's also our job here to cover everything Disney entertainment. And the countdown to 250 begins. What will the celebrities do? What will the musicians do? Well, ask Martina McBride. Probably not the time to dive out of patriotism or even give a whiff or a sniff that that's what you intend to do. Folks, if we could do the pro show 24 hours, nay, 25 hours a day, and we would get down on our hands and knees and ask God to give us that extra hour and no sleep, please. But every good thing must come to an end. And so we go, to the superstars, the show, to wrap this thing up for us. Who else would do it except you? First Dragon Queen for 5. I'm pretty sure Jonas missed the one about him fighting the troll. Well, we got it, and we put it up there. It's the only right thing to do. Lauren Connor, the Chicken Man, is out there, member for 25 months. Wilton plus wings equals or greater than a mosquito plus armor. Yeah, probably true.
Not a Bill Gates mosquito, though.
I'm not asking for mosquitoes to develop armor, though. I would not like that. David is out there for $4.99 again, number 51 for good measure. Thank you. And yes, we hit the goal. You know what? We should do that right now since we hit the goal. Folks, here come the gifted memberships. Let's let it rain out there in the chat. Let's do 5. Let's do 5 more. And I tell you what, let's do 5 more. We'll do 15 gifted memberships from the channel just to say thank you. Hang on, the last 5 is taking just a second. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Come on, thing. Quit spinning there. There we go. 15 out there. And enjoy those. We've got Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle for $4.99. What if Jim Cramer said Masters of the Universe would do well? Would it be doomed?
Yes.
Let's not give Jim any ideas, okay? Let's not do that. Archer for 2, no going back. Once Awakened versus Woke propaganda. You can sniff it out, right? You know it. The radar is there. Kalioth for 2, Skeletor equals 80s Frank personality with current effects. Evil. We've got Clank, I'm a Tank for 5. Did anyone invite Sabaton to perform for America 250? They have patriotic songs about Audie Murphy, Alvin York, and storming Normandy.
No, I'm sure it's just Bad Bunny again.
I'm sure they'll be playing somewhere. Yeah, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's in Toy Story. You know that, Marv?
Oh, I know.
Yep, he's a slice of pizza. Yep. Christian Gorralejo for 10. To play devil's advocate, both critics and audiences gave Project Hail Mary and Sheep Detectives positive scores.
Yep.
By the way, the latter reminded me of the animal films we used to watch like Babe and Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, and Animal Farm, by the way, they both they all hated that. So it sometimes it does match up, but more times than not, we're getting it where the two are opposed.
When you showed the Kevin Smith score, that was all we needed. That was the coup de grace. Lady Gamester, remember for 2 months, Disney is hypocritical and opportunistic. Too late. Well, they've earned some heyday. Archer for 2, it's the new Let Them Eat Cake disconnect. True, it's true, la verdad, we say. Clank, I'm gonna take for 10. The corporations will choose patriotic support of the 250th, while the protest crowd will do what they do. That crowd will alienate themselves from mainstream Americans when they riot this summer. What a bummer for Disney. And Archer for 2, I think they're weighing their license loss at ABC. You know, I had not thought about that. That's a great angle. We might come back to that. The idea that they would do this to try to save Save the broadcast license for
Beg
ABC.
off from Brendan Carr.
Oh, yeah. All right, folks, we've got 5, 10, 15 of those gifted memberships out there. Hope you enjoy them, and we got to get out of here. It's 3 p.m., and that means it's time to go to Ron Bradley and the Dish. Marv, before we go, tell the folks out there, what are you up to? What are you...
So...
I can't get around the mic, Marv. Tell us. What are you up to?
4:30 today. Real Life Fake Wizard and I are going to be going live during the PlayStation stream of Summer Game Fest with a Special Culture Crossfire event. That's going to be on both my channel and the Real Life Fake Wizard Fake Wizards Live. Excuse me. And then tomorrow I'll be on Geeks and Gamers Play. I'll also be hosting that Park Place at noon. And then on Thursday we've got Culture Crossfire at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I've got the M4 cast with Caro at 8 p.m.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, Caro, what do you got going on up there?
I'm not very exciting streaming wise, but if you ever want to watch me play Stardew, I do that on Mondays if you're interested. Outside of that, I am still campaigning Tales of Twisted Ravens, which is the comic fundraiser to help children in hospitals and cancer centers receiving treatment right now. So if that's something that you're interested in, I've got bundles from $7 all the way up to $5,000 if you just happen to have some laying around, whatever like that. And if you have supported, thank you guys so much. The kids are going to really appreciate it. And if you could just tell 2 of your friends about it, I would really appreciate that too. Grassroots is so powerful, and that's me. Thank you.
Awesome. And Culture Casino.
Yeah,
hey, buddy.
We already featured one of the stories I'm covering tomorrow in video format, so that'll be up there talking about Marv's amazing story and insights when it comes to Masters of the Universe and whether or not Rotten Tomatoes is to be trusted. Of course, after that, I've got some other things coming out. I will be seeing Masters of the Universe and doing the review on Thursday afternoon, and that means you'll be able to see it on Friday morning. So hopefully you'll have some insight into what I think about the film, and you can evaluate from there.
All right, folks, it's time. Carol, swap sides with me just for a minute. Folks, it's time to say goodbye, but we had a great time with you. We hope that all of you did as well. It's a wonderful moment. It's a wonderful time every time we get to spend time together. Until the next time we're here on the Pro Channel, remember, we got a big announcement coming out tomorrow night. The first time you'll find out where can you meet all of the gang all together live, and then many more opportunities on the way. It's time to send you on your way, folks. Stick around for The Dish with Ron Bradley of Father Bradley's Fun, and we wish you a wonderful and happy day. Stay on the sunny side of life. We're out of here from somewhere sunny, USA.
I know why you have come, real-life fake wizard. You are here to reclaim your family's land. Let us fight.
It's time for real fighting. It's time for battle so exciting.
What is this madness?
When
You shall not
enemies
pass.
are all enticing. Real fake wizard, bring the lightning. You thought thumbnails were amazing, but you didn't think he could bring down the big boss in low budget Tammo Hood. He's a macho man. We got your hands. Roundhouse kick will do the trick. Hit you with the Gandalf stick. Let's get to real life fake with fighting. Let's get to eye gouging and biting. There's no dignity in loss, so kick them in the jaws. Let's get to real life fake with fighting. Let's get to clawing and conspiring. You
You win. I know.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are...
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint.
They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.